It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I'm still kept at 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I'm still kept at 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling, going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun, and we maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC 325. We have Alexander Vulcganowski going against Diego Lopez 2. We are in the second card of the year, back-to-back numbered cards. And I'm looking through this card, and we got some road to UFC fights. We have some prelims that I'm not too excited about, but this main card I'm very excited about. I'm really looking forward to the main event with Vulcganowski and Lopez. I'm really looking forward to the co-main event with Hooker St. Denis. I'm really looking forward to the Phys Hufi fight. We got an absolute striker's delight there. We got the return of Tai Tuivasa taking on Talison Terara, which should be a banger. And then we got one of the hottest prospects in Quillin taking on a walking corpse in Jamie Malarkey. So I'm looking forward. And we got Junior Taffa, Billy Alakana. How can we not talk about Junior Taffa, Billy Alakana? But we're back, Wheezy. I'm looking forward to this card. Really excited about talking through it here. And you're back. You're back from Florida. How was it?
Oh, it was great, because it was freezing here in Chicago while I was down south. So, I think we got down to -30 wind chill. Brady, you sent me a picture of your backyard, which was just covered in snow. So it was really nice to be out there playing golf, going to the beach, being at the pool, seeing my dad, seeing my brother, being down there with my girlfriend. I had a great 5 days down there, but it's back to business, man. It's 2026. The UFC is already in full swing here with the Paramount era. We had a pretty cool UFC 325 card, lots to talk about there, but yeah, I'm ready to talk about this card, last card, have some fun breaking down these fights. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yep, me as well. Before we get into, if you guys could please do a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We go live every Monday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, we weren't late tonight, which is pretty cool. Sometimes we are late, but tonight we were actually on time, and we will try to go forward to never show up late again. And yeah, where's my banners at? StreamYard. Where are my banners? Here we go. We're still looking for a sponsor. For the love of God. For the love of God. We are looking for a sponsor. Somebody sponsor the show. Sponsor the show. Somebody. Please.
For the love of God, I rushed back from Florida for this, you guys. It's freezing here. Freezing.
Yeah, where's Manscaped? Where's BetterHelp? Where are these companies? Where are they at?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They're hiding. I think that we're intimidating them in some way.
We might be.
It's a big show. People love it. We're on time every week. We give you laughs. We give you analysis. We give you numbers. We give you two good-looking young men here. Come on. What more do you want? Sponsor the goddamn show.
We're getting 4,000 or 5,000 views on a bad week.
On a bad week
on this show. Wait till football's over. They're gonna skyrocket. One of those 5,000 viewers aren't a business owner. We'll promote your stuff. We don't. It doesn't matter what it is. We'll promote you.
Yeah. I mean, unless you don't like having money coming in, just flowing through your front doors, then don't do it.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We gotta find something. Because it's been a while. We had Pub Sports for a while, and that was awesome. Shout out to Pub Sports. We had Avery for a while. That was freaking awesome. We appreciate the heck out of Avery.
Yeah.
But now we need to appreciate the heck out of someone else now. So please Please. All right. So let's do a recap of UFC 324. And by the way, if you guys are in the chat, you can vote on who needs to get some help. And it was a tough decision, I think, this week, because my goodness, a couple guys really need help. I threw Charles Johnson up there, maybe not so for the performance. Don't get me wrong, getting knocked out by Alex Perez, not the best look, but maybe more so, due to that haircut. He came in there. I don't know how to explain. It was the weirdest haircut I've ever seen. And I should have sent the picture over to my mom, who's a hairdresser, and asked her about it. But he had the big bald spot in the middle, right? And then he had like a puff. It was like puffed out on both sides with the bald spot in the middle. And then he ended up braiding it into like a skull. It was just a weird, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
I just missed that fight. I turned it on just in time to see him getting knocked out. So I missed the haircut.
It was very bad. So I put Charles Johnson up there. I'll talk more about that. I put Derek Lewis up there. I thought he had the second worst performance of the night, right behind Denzel Freeman, who literally got his ass spanked. I think that was the first ass spanking in UFC history. Josh Hogan literally got on top of him, and he started spanking his ass. Like if you're a referee, what do? You got to take a point, right? I mean, you can't spank somebody's ass in the octagon. If I'm refereeing that fight, I'm stopping. I'm saying, Josh, come here. I'm taking a point. 1 point, ass spanking. 1 point, ass spank. You can't spank somebody's ass. You can't do it. I think going forward, we need to do an ass spanking of the week. Shout out to Josh, the Josh Hogan ass spanking of the week. Denzel Freeman, you just got your ass spanked, bitch.
It was a rough performance for Denzel, man. But, I mean, shout out Josh Hogan. What a performance. What a performance. Dude, he absorbed 0 significant strikes. He ragdolled a pretty good wrestler for, almost 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the 5 minutes that fight lasted. And then he flips him off with 1 second left in the round, and that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and he wins the fight via walk-off middle finger. I've never seen anything like that. That was incredible. And then great post-fight speech. But this dude's nonstop pressure. He can wrestle for days. He's constantly landing damage, whether he's on the feet, in the clinch, or on top. So, I mean, I think Josh Hogan's going to be a real problem in the heavyweight division.
Agreed. And Jaron brings it up, Brady, you should have put yourself on the needs help list with those picks, my boy. And I totally agree. Well, I went 7-4 on picks, which isn't the end of the world.
Me too, though. So I guess me and you both then.
No, I think it might be talking about my bets, because my picks were like okay, my bets were not okay. So Jaron, you're right, and we'll talk about that. So my goal for last week, it was the first card of the week. I kind of wanted to get my feet wet. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet. I'm going to keep it light. I'm going to really attack the spots that I want to attack. So, and then my goal was to keep it light this week and kind of attack UFC 325 heavier, which I do like more from a betting perspective. So I kept it light and I attacked the spots I liked. And it's not like I had any hot takes. I liked Teba Godier to finish Andre Poliev in 7.5 minutes. And what happens? Godier goes out there. He drops him with the very first punch he lands. And then the fight goes the full 15 minutes. Like the fight doesn't go as minus 1,000 there. Every time Godier touched Poliev, he fell down. Like he either wobbled, he either fell off balance, he either ran into the cage, or he either fell down. It's like, Godier went out there and kind of let him off the hook. Only landed 34 punches. If he would have kind of sat down and did a little bit more combination work in there instead of doing like one big punch at a time, he would have easily finished Andre Poliev. But yeah, Godier wins by decision. So that wasn't a good bet. I had I thought Charles Johnson could beat Alex Perez. Thought that was a very good matchup for Charles Johnson, and he gets knocked out. Like, wasn't expecting that at all. Charles Johnson had never been finished ever, but I guess it's Alex Perez, the first one to finish Charles Johnson. And to be fair, Alex Perez did cheat. Perez did cheat. He showed up. He was one of the first guys to weigh in. Like, wow, Alex Perez, weighing in early. That's good to see. Then he misses weight by a couple pounds. It's like, that's cheating. You can't do that. He didn't even try to cut the weight. So Alex Perez is a dirty cheater. I bet he's cheating on his wife right now, wherever he is, with a bunch of hookers. Alex Perez is a dirty cheater. I had the under 1.5 in a Krylov fight, like under 1.5 in the Krylov fight. And Krylov fights have been printing money for me. I had the under in the Reyes fight, check. I had the under in the Guskov fight, check. Had the under in the Bukowskis fight. He waits till the third round to knock out Krylov. Rest in peace to decision bettors and Krylov decision bettors, which the Krylov decision was like plus 1,000, dude.
Yeah.
And he waited till the third round to knock him. You could have done that in the first round, Krylov. Why are you waiting till the third? I had Umar Nurmagomedov inside the distance. Figgy came in looking like an absolute corpse. And Figgy went out there and he had a performance as if he was a corpse. I mean, Figgy went out there and landed 8 strikes over the course of 15 minutes. Didn't even really seem to want to be there. And Umar kind of played patty cake with him for 15 minutes. It was a really bad performance by both guys. But if you're Umar Nurmagomedov and you want to be like champion one day, it's like, go finish this corpse. But he couldn't finish the corpse. And then I had the under 3.5 in the main event. And, the fight was kicking off. And we were a couple minutes in. I was like, there's no way this fight's going, over 3.5 rounds. And it ends up going the full 25 minutes. So with I think it was 300 significant strikes combined, and the fight goes the distance. So it's like, yeah, I didn't have really any hot takes. Kind of expected, some of these big favorites to do their job. Kind of expected more violence, and everything just kind of went tits up. But the good thing about this is, get the big losses out of the way and get to move on to next week. So, yeah, brutal, but I already have 6 units on the line for UFC 325, and I'm looking to bounce back. And I know one thing for certain: it can't go any worse than UFC 324 did.
Yeah, I just kept it real small, Brady. Because I left town early, and then I got down to Florida, and I realized that there was an equipment problem, and I couldn't do content, so it slowed me down. It didn't allow me to make a lot of bets. My big bet of the week was a 3-unit bet on the Gene Silva money line. I don't think it was a great bet. I thought that was a very close fight, and I laid minus 250. So I wasn't thrilled with the bet, but it cashed. And I had a half unit on Charles Johnson to win by knockout. He's been flashing some real good power lately, so I decided to take that shot at plus 575. And I'm not even mad at Charles. This guy is one of the highest variance fighters in the UFC. Like, when people don't expect much from him, he shows out. When he starts to get on a roll and people are expecting him to take that next step, he takes a step back. So I should have known that Perez was a good bet there, because I picked Charles Johnson to win the fight. I remain the worst Charles Johnson fight picker on the face of the planet, Brady. Another bagel for me there. I think I'm 2-9 on Charles Johnson predictions. You know how hard that is? It's really hard. It's really hard. So, that sucked. I lost a half unit there. I had a unit on Derek Lewis's money line at plus 270. That did not work out well. The first round was pretty close, in my opinion. But, I don't know what happened there. Did he hurt his leg or something? Did he get injured going down to the ground?
It looked like he quit.
Well, it looked like he quit, but that didn't look like a knockout blow.
No.
And then he kind of looked like he might have grabbed his hamstring a little bit when he was going down. I don't know if you saw that, but
might have pulled a hammy. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Because he went down. I'm like, oh, he should get back up. And then Waldo strolled over to him, and then very slowly, like an 80-year-old man getting into bed, just kind of got on top of Derek in half guard, and then he just started pounding him out. And I go, oh my God, Derek's quitting. But I thought maybe he got hurt or something. I don't know if it was the shot that dropped him that hurt him, or if maybe he got hurt on the way down, or it looked like he also maybe slipped just before he got hit by the punch. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I finished down 0.5 or 0.6 units. I only had like 4.25 units in bets. So I'm looking to kind of, now that I'm back home, I'm in my office, I'm in my laboratory here, as it were, Brady. I'm ready to kind of start turning up the volume here on 2026 and get a little more aggressive.
Yep. Me as well. I try to, believe it or not, I tried to play it safe last week, to be honest. I tried to play it as safe as possible.
Those were safe bets, dude. I mean, like, dude, there were some head in the oven type moments. Like if you had fight starts round 2 for the Fugit Miller fight or for the Hokett Freeman fight, you probably put your head in the oven. If you had, I was thinking about making a fight goes to decision bet for Krylov versus Bukauskas because it's a Bukauskas fight. Guy doesn't do a lot, you know. I mean, the guy's he fights at a bureaucratic pace. So I figured I was really close to making a small bet because it was plus 400. Dude, 3 seconds left. That wouldn't have cashed. I would have lost it. But either way, man, it was a wild night. There were some really fun fights. Great performance by Ty Miller in his debut. Phenomenal performance. Walk-off, flip-off, KO by Josh Hokett. Phenomenal performance by Alex Perez, dude. Nobody does that to Charles Johnson. Let's face it. Nobody's walked through Charles Johnson even close to that level that happened the other day. So that was a really impressive performance by Alex. Krylov gets his first win in a while. Gauthier shows that he can go 3 full rounds. Umar, yikes, man.
Oh, God.
I mean, that guy wants a title shot, and then he's got it. You know, he's like, oh, I'm going to be real active. But, you know, after Ramadan, you know, it's like, dude, you know, come on, man. And I mean, like, there's no personality there. And then his fights, unless he's fighting like a legit exciting fighter like Merab, they'll just put you to sleep. So, and then, Gene Silva, Arnold Allen, phenomenal fight. Rose and Natalia was 50-50. I mean, that could have gone either way. So Rose was the good bet there, but Waldo Cortez Acosta keeps going, dude. Sean Song was a really close fight in my opinion. And then Justin got the job done, man. He keeps 97% of his fights take place at distance striking range. And Patty wasn't able to get the fight to the ground, and he didn't really try. So Justin got the fight that he wanted, and that was a great fight. That was a great fight, dude. That was a great main event. Patty put on a show for the fans, and Justin obliged them, and that's a great main event to start off the Paramount Plus era.
Fight of the year. Fight of the year.
Definitely so far.
Yep.
And Silva and Allen put on a show, too.
Yep. Second best fight of the year, that Silva Allen fight. That was a good fight. All right, so let's get into the Stat Diggers parlay of the week. Of course, we lost the Hernandez Johnson leg, and then we both had the overs, and I had the over, of course, in the Hokett Freeman fight, which got stopped after the bell. So that went up in flames. We lost the leg, and then my leg did not come through. I think every time we bet an over, it loses. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The milking of the week was Charles Johnson to milk Alex Perez. And to be honest, there weren't a ton of milking options. Like, you know, we were thinking maybe Patty, I guess, could milk Chandler.
Yeah.
I guess the other option would have been Umar, but even Umar didn't milk anybody. So yeah, Charles Johnson does not milk Alex Perez. Alex Perez pipes Charles Johnson. And even like the onside piping of the week, like Gene Silva did not pipe up Arnold Allen. And like you mentioned, that fight was a lot closer than the line indicated. But ultimately, Gene Silva got the decision. So we got to clean it up. Definitely got to clean it up this week. And I think we will. There are a lot of spots sticking out. All right. And then let's see who needs to get help in the poll here. Okay. In fourth place, believe it or not, with 14%, Umar Nurmagomedov. And my hot take, Weezy, on Clint's show was, if I was Dana White, I would have cut Umar Nurmagomedov after that. I swear to God, I would have cut him. Nobody wants to see that. Who wants to see that? Do you want to see that?
I mean, I barely watched that fight at all, and I was sitting there watching the fights.
You got to cut him. Nobody wants to see that. You have a corpse in front of you, and you play patty cake with the corpse for 15 minutes. That was absolutely horrible. So, but Umar Nurmagomedov does not need to get help. In third place, believe it or not, Charles Johnson, 17%. You know, not only does he potentially need help, you know, getting knocked out by Perez, but he also potentially needs to get help from that haircut. But people don't think Charles Johnson needs to get help. In second place is Derek Lewis at 27%. And then in first place, the person that needs to get help, and I believe it was the Stat Diggers William Knight Performance of the Year, Denzel Freeman. He also needs to get help after UFC 325. I swear to you, that was the worst performance in UFC history. He lands 0 total significant strikes, and he gets his ass spanked. How embarrassing for Denzel Freeman.
Finished by middle finger.
Yep, he gets flipped off. He gets his ass spanked. And I don't know why it didn't even look like Hokut was like landing anything, but he was still like wobbling across the cage, I think due to just exhaustion. And then Mark Smith stopped the fight because he was so tired, had his hands on his knees trying to catch his breath. And then Mark Smith just stops the fight. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So Denzel Freeman gets some help, but I think all 4 of these guys definitely potentially need to get some help. All right. What is up, everybody in the chat? Good to see you here. We got the Cookie Monster in the building. Do you like cookies, Uncle Weezy?
Yeah, I mean, of course I do.
Yeah, Elijah One, what's up? We got Dixon Cider saying, Brady, I had to go get another job today because I lost all my money on stupid ass Charles and Dweeb Johnson after he got KO'd by journeyman Alex Perez. I never wanted to see him in the cage again. I don't either, man. It's like when I bet on Charles Johnson, he just doesn't show up. He just doesn't show up when I bet on him. When I don't bet on Charles Johnson, I kid you not, he's the best flyweight in the division. He's out there knocking out Joshua Van. It's like, make up your mind, Charles. Make up your mind, Charles. Not too happy about it. We got UFC Go in the building. What is up? We got Daniel Forrest, Brother Brady. I'm sick today. Body chills, lightheaded, and I feel weak. I'll tune into the whole show, but I can't promise anything. Hopefully you feel better for us. Something's definitely going around. It's like so cold everywhere. There's snow everywhere. And people are getting sick. It's that time of the year. Everyone except Umar needs to get some help big time. Umar definitely needs help. That performance was dog shit. Yeah, I would tend to agree. Figgy's performance was even worse. I mean, Figgy landed 8 significant strikes over the course of 15 minutes.
That's pathetic.
8 significant strikes over the course of 15 minutes. Let's see how much significant strikes William Knight landed in the William Knight performance. Oh, against Martin. It was 8. I think
it was 8, right?
It was 8. He tied William Knight. Davison Figueiredo is the new William Knight. Congratulations, Davison Figueiredo. Good on you.
He's a jacked bantamweight version. Oh, it's great.
Oh gosh. Umar's basically Mozvar Evlev.
I'm thinking Evlev. Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. Let's see. First pipe of 2026. Yes, was Gene Silva. Didn't quite pipe him. We got Clint from the Die Hard Anime podcast. I was on there earlier today. We had a pretty fun show. What's up, Clint? Good to see you in here. Smash the like button. Agreed. Cancel all 325 previews and analysis. We need 3 hours of discussing just how bad Denzel Freeman is. We went at him a little bit. We got a lot to talk about. We can't go too hard on him. Volk is going to get piped like no one's ever been piped before. Goodness. Brady going to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. What's that?
I don't know, but if they're paying, we're in. I hope I don't regret saying that because I guess it could be something horrible, but I don't know. If they're paying us, I'm in.
It could be horrible. How much is sponsored this? Well, you hit up our people, and then we'll talk it out. But it's not a ton. Like, I don't know. I'll sponsor in the fall if you need someone. Then still, well, hopefully we find somebody soon because it's kind of getting ridiculous. Yep, Freeman landed 0 punches. Just terrible, man. We got Narco Cop in the building. What is up, Narco? Who took the biggest dump in the middle of the cage? It had to been Denzel Freeman, I guess.
I guess it was Freeman, like Ty Miller or Adam Fugit trying 0 takedowns against a pure boxer with bad takedown defense, and Ty Miller was bad. Denzel Freeman, 0 significant strikes over 299 seconds. That's bad. Charles Johnson had a rough performance for sure. but he at least fought a really good opponent. Yeah, it's got to be probably Freeman, dude.
I mean, if you get your ass spanked, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I've never seen that. I was like, did he just spank his ass?
He sure did.
Oh,
I mean, it's just that Hokit, man. He's a showman.
He's a character, and you could be a showman whenever you're facing guys like Max Jimenez and Denzel Freeman. Why not spank these bums' ass during the fight? You can mess around a little bit at heavyweight. That was freaking awesome. Brady, are you open to a catheter company sponsoring the show? You would have to use it during these live streams so you can prove it actually works. You can pee on the spot, no more breath. You know what? I'm starting to do fight companions this year. You know what? I'd be open to it.
Yeah, they're diapers. You
Yeah.
know, so we don't have to get up during the fight companion for 8 hours, just strap in with a big ass diaper and like a 6-pack of beer and just do 8 solid hours of commentary.
Dude, I was proud of myself. I was on camera 8.5 hours and I only took like 3 breaks. It was pretty impressive. But if I had a catheter, it'd be 0 breaks.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Let's see. Yeah, Gene Silva we had people standing on top of their opponents. We had people spanking each other's butt. I mean, it was just crazy. Absolute crazy. Had a brutal night, went 0 for straight bagel. Yeah, I feel it, man. It was a weird card. Definitely a weird card.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus needs help. Yeah, a lot of complaints from Paramount. Did you have any issues?
Not really, no. But the funny thing is like we were on vacation and somebody was already logged into Paramount, and I have like the commercial free Paramount for my login, but like I think I was on the commercial version, so there were a little bit more commercials than I wanted. But I mean, other than that, I thought it all went pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it went well. I was on the commercial free. It's not commercial free. It's a lot less commercials, but yeah, I didn't have any problems at all. 3 seconds away from winning 1K, had the Krylov decision. That's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. Like, really? Crazy. You waited till now to KO this bum? Really? Come on. Lost all my friends' money on Umar sub. He didn't even try, dude. Like, he didn't even try. Yeah. And Patty money line. Am I a fraud? You're not a fraud, man. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Let's see here. Not gonna lie, I drank too many beers and passed out before the Patty fight. There you go.
Oh no, such a good fight.
You got to go back and watch it though.
Yeah.
So yeah. Did you see that? I know you're in Florida. You know. They pulled the fight. They were like, we're pulling it. Apparently, there was in like inside info that Alexander Hernandez was hurt, and then like people that were betting the fight got a hold of that and started driving down the MJ line, and then Dana just pulled it.
Yeah, and I saw it went from, I mean, like I was seeing Hernandez earlier in the week around -180, and by the time the fight was close, it was -110, and then they took it off the board, and and that's what I want to see. And I mean, like they had less reason to take that fight off the board than they did the Bulgarian fight, than they did the Lucas Almeida fight. That was ridiculous. Absolutely. So we had a couple of instances where it seems like they might have learned their lesson by not doing the right thing in those fights, and getting out ahead of it and just saying there's obviously some information in the market here that's not known by everybody. So I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah, me too. I think that's a really good thing, and hopefully they do it going forward. Why not? Why not do it? We got Eileen Perez's butthole in the building. By the way, Eileen Perez, if you're watching, I know you're a fan of the show, Eileen. If you're watching, we'll sponsor us with your OnlyFans. We'll shout out your OnlyFans. We'll get you more subscribers. Maybe we can get free memberships, right? Like maybe, just maybe. Why not?
Yeah, I'd check it out.
No, I don't recommend. I don't recommend, to be honest. But hey, we're down for anything. We're down for everything. We got Colin's Corner. Got a cortisone shot in my ass today. Oh gosh, to help with back pain. What's up, fellas? Hopefully you're feeling better, man. That sucks. Back pain's the worst. We'll talk about somebody on this card that had some back pain in a little bit. What else we got in here? We got the MMA Husky Husker in the building. Peace and love from down under. 325 is the Huskies' backyard this week. And there you go. Home turf. Perfect card incoming. Happy to see Wheezy's microphone working. Aru, let's go. Good to see you in here.
Got all the equipment at home. Yeah, screwed it up on the road. So, yeah, back to business, back in the lab.
To be honest, he did, just because Figgy literally didn't fight at all. It was terrible. But it was a horrible fight.
Bad fight.
Seriously, there's no helping Freeman. What's up, Carlos? Good to see you. We got Dravi that just got done. I think they just got done with their show. What's up, boys? Let's cook on this card. Curious to hear your thoughts on the road to UFC fights. Yes, we'll be briefly talking about those. Some of those fights are pretty dang good, those road to UFC fights. I'm looking forward to a couple of them there. We got Justin Cash sponsoring the show with a $2 dono saying Patty got clapped with somebody with a staff. Yeah. But shout out to Patty. He showed a really good chin. I mean, I think like 99% of the people get knocked out eating upwards of almost 200 strikes against Justin Gaethje. He showed a great chin. First 3 road UFC fights are better than 3/4 of the prelims. Yeah, there's a couple prelims I'm not too excited about, to be honest. We got Andre Fiallo in the building. We need to get Andre Fiallo on the show potentially. Have him break down some fights.
That would be great.
Along with the Hood Wolf.
Yes, the Hood Wolf.
He's really good on the mic. We can get Cedricus on the show as well. We got Justin Cash with another $2 dono saying the Umar fight gave me erectile dysfunction. Okay, me too, to be honest. I mean, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Yeah, WikiFeet. Where you at? WikiFeet? You got AIDS from the Umar fight. Yeah, I can see people getting AIDS, or at the very least chlamydia from it. It was that bad. What else? I guess Patty wasn't ready. Yeah, which kind of stinks because, I think that was kind of Patty's one chance because, Tapori is going to come back eventually. You got Armin Sarukian up there. Had a lot of tough matchups in the lightweight division. I kind of thought this was his one shot. The fight companion was fun. Probably kept me from tossing the TV like a skipping stone. Yeah, I had fun, man. And fight companion is my very first one for the UFC. It was a good time. A very good time. All right, guys. We got to get into it. We're about 30 minutes in. We got some fights to talk about. We're going to talk through these UFC or road to UFC fights. We're not going to go as in-depth on these, but we're definitely going to give some thoughts on them and talk through the line and all that. So this is probably my favorite fight, Wheezy, from a fan standpoint, just because both these guys are going to bring it. It is Aaron Toe going against Namsarai Batbuyer. We got Toe is currently sitting as, I think, the slight dog. Let me refresh this.
Yeah, slight dog.
Yeah, plus 105, and Batbuyer sitting at minus 125. Yeah, Toe's a dog, man. Toe's an absolute dog. No quitting him. And Batbuyer is a freaking killer. So I think these two are going to kind of get into it, man. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, Batbuyer is a guy that we saw lose to Nyamjargal Tumandembarrel back in the day on the Mongolian regional scene in MGL1. He was able to kind of control Nyamjargal for the entire first round of that fight. So this guy can, Joban was talking about it in his 2 road to UFC fights about how he's good when he gets on top. He's a position over submission grappler. He can get to your back. He can get takedowns. And I like his counters. I think Batbuyer's got some really good counters on the feet. He doesn't let you get anything coming his way for free. He's always countering. He's got a little bit of power. He's finished all 9 of his wins inside the distance, 5 by submission, 4 by knockout. But when he got put in a bad position in the Tumandembarrel fight, that we saw him kind of not really have very good submission defense. Toe is not really much of a offensive grappler, but what he can do is just kind of pressure forward, absorb what you're landing on him, and just hit you harder than he hits him or he hits you. So this guy is a lot of pressure, pretty scary dude. Very durable, and he's got some power. He's finished 8 of his 11 wins inside the distance, but he's also got really good cardio, Brady. So I think the longer this fight goes, the more it's going to favor Toe. And Toe's shown pretty good takedown defense and get-up game in the past. So I think that he's going to be able to keep this fight standing, and I think he's going to be landing the bigger shots on the feet. I think it's a great fight, but I think I'm leaning just a little bit to the Aaron Toe side. But Batbauer is 7.5 years younger than Aaron Toe, and I think that could come into play here.
Yep, I'm leaning with Batbauer just because I think he's more dangerous, kind of wherever the fight goes. But I do agree, like when this fight gets extended, it's going to favor Toe. But I think it could be a close fight, and I actually think it could go to decision as well, which is kind of weird to say because Batbauer hasn't been the distance. But I mean, Toe's just a dog and super durable. I think both guys are actually. So I kind of like the over 1.5 rounds at -160. Like at the end of the day, I mean, this is a flyweight fight. Like, it's not often we see over-unders in flyweight fights get set at 1.5. So I think that'd be my favorite spot would be the over 1.5. And even like the fight goes to decision at +195. Again, for a flyweight fight, it's kind of wild, even though both these guys are dangerous.
Yeah. So what did you say the over is? It's -160.
Yeah.
So that is a 61.5% implied probability on that line, Brady. But the long-term divisional trend is 72%. So you're getting a little bit of a break, about 10.5% when you compare the long-term trend to the price of the line for the over.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm probably not betting on these road to UFC fights. I need to have a good week. I can't be messing around. I just had a rough week last week, and probably not going to mess around with these road to UFC fights because it's basically like a contender series type thing. You don't really know what to expect, but yeah, if I was to bet something, it might be like an over. All right. What are you guys liking in the chat for this one? And yeah, like I said, I think this is probably going to be my favorite road to UFC fight on the board just because both these guys have that dog in them. BSD probably beats Patty. Probably. I think there's some tough matchups for Patty, going forward. Everyone hit that like button. Agree. Get those likes up. 2 men in a barrel. Yep, 2 men in a barrel. We need to get him back in there. My boy, Diamond Jargle, 2 men in a barrel. Yeah. Agreed. Like and subscribe, everyone. Shout out Braden and Weezy. Keep up the great work, fellas. Appreciate you, Steven Picks. This is kind of a big fight for Tuivasa, right? Coming back, fresh start. Yeah, he needs a win. He's on like a 20-fight skid. He needs to get a win, man. Every Tuivasa fight is big. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to this next fight here. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this one, just from like a line standpoint. In this one, because I was taping this fight, right? And there weren't any lines out. And it's like, okay, Louis, he's well-rounded. I believe he's a city kickboxing guy. He can mix in some takedowns. His striking's not bad. Has really good elbows. But it's like, I think he's a little bit chinny. He's been hurt a few times in these road to UFC fights. And then you got Rangbo, who looks pretty decent on the feet, has a lot of power. But they opened this line up with Louis at -190. I'm like, oh, God. Do I want to lay -190 on a chinny person? And then the line completely flipped, and it's been nothing but Rangbo love. And now Rangbo went from +165 to now -250. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that either. So this line has completely flipped, and it's now heavily in favor of Rangbo. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's so Sulan Rangbo is only 20 years old, Brady. And he started off his career with 1 win and 3 losses because this guy turned pro at the age of 15, which is what a lot of these guys out of Enbo Fight Club do. Song Yudong is an Enbo Fight Club guy, right? Turned pro at 15. Same thing with Sulan Rangbo. This guy's been fighting for 4 years and 7 months, and he's 20 years and 6 months. So this guy had his first pro fight at the age of 15 as well. These Enbo Fight Club guys are actual they're orphans. There a lot of them are wards of the state or they're orphans, and they get brought to Enbo Fight Club, and if they show some kind of physical gifts, they'll get taken in there where they can live and learn martial arts and try to make something of themselves coming from nothing. And so another guy on this card, Yi Jia, he's a Enbo Fight Club guy. Mahashate's an Enbo Fight Club guy. So these guys have been fighting ever since they were children, Brady, So a lot of these guys, even though they're only 20 years old, they already have like a lifetime of mixed martial arts experience. Louis, I think, is going to be a little bit more well-rounded. But like you say, this guy, Rangbo, he's got power. He's finished 6 of his 10 wins. He's got a win by submission. He's got 3 wins by decision as well. But I don't think that the kid's all that special yet. You know, like he's a big favorite here. And Lawrence Louis, the guy who's training with the better partners over at City Kickboxing, I think he's a guy who's shown more paths to victory. But I think that Sulan will probably be a little bit better on the feet. I think he's got a little more power, a little more pop. He's a little more dangerous. And I think that Louis is probably going to be the guy more likely to try to win minutes and moments in the grappling exchanges of this fight. But he's never won a fight by submission, but he can win minutes with his grappling if he doesn't feel safe in the striking. And I also like those elbows that he was showing in the Van fight, where he was really getting inside, and he wasn't having much success with his fists before that. But when he kind of got in the dude's face and just started throwing elbows, he was landing big. So yeah, I think that this guy's probably the side at the current line, because Sulan Rongbo is still only 20 years old. His record is still just all right. And I mean, I don't think his wins are all that great. So I do think that this kid's still got a little bit more to go. And I think that Louis, being with a City Kickboxing guy, probably having the better training partners and a lot more experience in terms of just being on the right regional scene. I think that probably he's the side on the money line here.
Yeah, like I thought Louis minus 190 opener was silly, but I also think Rangbo minus 250 is kind of silly, especially considering Louis fighting at home. He's a City Kickboxing guy. He's well-rounded, and I like this fight IQ. Like you said, it wasn't going his way on the feet. He resorted to the wrestling. So yeah, I don't really get this line movement at all. I mean, that's a massive move, going from plus 165 to minus 250. I wonder if there's like an injury or something, or unless people really like Rangbo. So we'll see. All right, moving on to the I forgot to hit up the chat. My bad, guys. Rangbo doesn't look very fit. Well, he's only 20 years old. You know, he'll get going. Louis is going to get smoked, and yeah, he could get knocked out. Like, his chin's not great. So if I was betting Rangbo instead of laying minus 250, I would probably take a look at the knockout prop, which is only plus 215. But I think if he's winning it, he might be knocking this guy out. And the over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 is plus 111. The under 2.5 is minus 131. Let's see. We got the MMA Tard in the building. What's good, guys? Brady Buns, Uncle Weezy, Big Tard in the house. What's up, Big Tard?
What up, Big Tard?
Good to see you in there. Brady Buns, I like it. All right.
I'm filling this up. Be back in just a sec, dude.
All right. Moving on to the next fight. It is going to be, we got Nakamura versus Sill. We got Sill currently sitting at minus 125 and at Nakamura sitting at plus 105. I think this is a pretty close fight here. I think the line makes sense to me. I was really impressed, though, with the striking of Sill. This guy has a karate background, and you can kind of see it in his fights. Very, very heavy leg kicks, and his combinations are pretty good as well. He's not really a finisher at all. I think he has maybe like 2 knockouts on his record, but he did, I think, knock out his last opponent like in the first 30 seconds, 45 seconds of the fight. So yeah, maybe the knockouts will start to come, but yeah, Nakamura, a pretty good striker in his own right. I think we got a striker's delight here, and I don't know. I think I slightly lean with Sill, the kind of the hometown guy, Australian. I think better leg kicks, but I think it's going to be a close fight. It probably goes to decision as well. Sill's not much of a finisher. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun fight. Nakamura, karate style fighter. Same thing with Sill. I think they both got good kicks. They're both pretty flashy. They're both really technical. And it's southpaw versus orthodox, 27-year-old versus a 31-year-old. But I do think that this guy Sill looks like the real deal. He's got some decent level of opponents. Same thing with Nakamura. He got that nasty KO win over Young Boss Park in the first round of the tournament. And then he beat Kai Wen Lee, who's a guy who's been around that Asian regional scene for a long time. We saw another one of these road to UFC guys get a win over Lee. I think it might have been Yi Jia last year. So I think both of these guys are pretty good, but I mean, I like what I saw from both of their striking. The knockout for Salai over Chang Min Yoon was really good. And then Bargain Jelaisi was probably one of the favorites for the tournament because he went deep into the tournament a couple of different times already. So, but he had moved up to 145 for this one, and I don't think that worked out well for him. Salai's also got a win over Dimps Gillies, an Australian regional scene journeyman. So I think that these guys are going to be pretty well matched, and I think it's going to come down to who's landing the bigger shots on the feet. Nakamura has finished 6 of his 7 wins inside the distance, while Salai has only finished 3 of his 10 wins inside the distance. So Salai might have the better tools to win minutes here, being 7-1 to the decision. But Nakamura's got some really flashy and eye-catching striking in his own right. So I think that these guys are very well matched.
Yeah. Agreed. Believe it or not, like the fight goes to decision is plus money, plus 130, which is kind of interesting considering Soleil's not really much of a finisher.
Yeah, and he looked like it in the Chang Min Yoon fight, but like you're right. I mean, when you go and you look at his record on the regional scene, it's a lot of decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be a fun fight. We got Sean saying Soleil is the best on the road to UFC this season. Okay. Yeah, no, I really liked his striking. So hopefully he can get the job done here. Chat, I'm looking at the likes count. Please go hit it now. We should be over 100 easy. I think we got 100 last week. Did we not? I think we did, yeah. It's always good to get 100. We got YT Dylan in the building. Yo, my first live show. Could be happy to be here. Just want to say thank you both for what you do. Keep up the grind. The best things are yet to come. Appreciate that, Dylan. Good to see you in here. All right, and then the final road to UFC fight. We have Dom Marfan going against Suk Kim. Dom Marfan around minus 170. Kim around plus 145. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Grappler versus grappler. I've seen Suk Kim go a lot to his grappling and wrestling, not just in the UFC, but prior to, not just in the road to UFC, but prior to that as well. And Dom Marfan is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I believe he's a black belt, but he is a guy who goes to his grappling first. So both of these guys are going to be looking to control the pace of this fight and the location of this fight with their grappling. I haven't seen too much of Marfan's striking. Kim's striking looks pretty technical, and he's going to be the taller guy here, but Dom Marfan, younger by about 6.5 years. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage too. And this guy, I mean, he won a round off of Quillin Salkilled in their rematch fight. And I think he's fought the better level of competition here as well in comparison to Kim. But it's Kim who's got more experience as a professional, 6 more fights, about 2.5 more years as a professional. So I think that these guys are pretty well matched. But I think that Dom Marfan's resume is just a little bit better, Brady. He's been in there against Salkilled not once, but twice. So you look at this guy's record, he's 8-2. If Quillin Salkilled didn't exist on this planet, this guy would be undefeated right now. And I think he'd be probably be a much bigger favorite over Kim than what he is right now, in my opinion. So I think Marfan is probably the better grappler here, is probably going to be the one choosing where this fight takes place and being more dangerous while it's on the ground. Like, I think both of these guys can win minutes, Brady, but in my opinion, it's Marfan with the higher level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu finishing skills at this level. Kim is 4-0 to the submission, and Marfan is 3-2 to the submission, but those 2 losses, once again, both to Salkilled. So, and then when you compare the level of opponents, the level of wins, I do think that Dom Marfan might be the guy that's probably was the favorite heading into this tournament in the first place. And I think he's probably going to be the one that wins it.
Yep. I like Dom Marfan to win as well. Minus 180 now. And Suk Kim is plus 155. Over under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is minus 150. The under 2.5 is plus 130. Kind of think it's going to be a fan decision here, which we have props as well, which is pretty cool. We have plus 185 for the fan by decision. So there you have it. That is the road to UFC. Some fun matchups, man. I mean, I think, all 4 of these fights, pretty dang fun.
Australia, New Zealand looking for the sweep here. because they've got somebody in every one of these fights. So it's going to be interesting to see if all those guys can pull it off, because got a couple city kickboxing guys and also got a couple Aussies as well.
Yep. So yeah, definitely looking forward to some road to UFC. Maybe not betting it, but watching it. So I'm gonna do the fight companion again next week. I think Wheezy's gonna come on. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun watching these
sure.
fights. But betting them, I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to the next fight, and yeah, like Dravi kind of said earlier, it's like I'm kind of looking forward to. I agree. I'm kind of looking forward to some of these road UFC fights more than some of these prelims, and this is just one I don't have a ton of interest in, to be honest. It's Offley going against Yiza. We got Offley, 32 years old, 5'6" with a 64-inch reach. Yiza, 29 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. Yiza, 3 years younger with a 1-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. We got Offley, who is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Marion Santos, lost that fight by knockout, lost to Muhammad Naimah by decision, and then submitted Ricardo Ramos in his last fight out. As far as Yiza, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against, he had the road to UFC finale, I believe, against Lee, right?
Yeah, Jun Young Lee, yeah.
And he lost that fight by decision. It was actually a pretty close decision, to be honest. Yeah. Lost the fight by decision, and then he fought Gabriel Santos, lost that fight by decision, and then he went out there and knocked out poor Weston Wilson. So, yeah, I got to go Yiza here just due to the fact that Offley just doesn't do anything. It's like he's extremely low volume, and yeah, Yiza is probably going to dictate where this fight takes place. And what I like about Yiza, we haven't really seen it in his last 2 fights against Wilson because he didn't really need to show it, and against Santos is he has relentless wrestling, like really relentless with it. He can go out there and wrestle for 15 minutes, no problem. Really good cardio, really good toughness. He showed off a lot of toughness against Gabriel Santos, ate a flying knee that would knock out most of the division. So I like this guy. He's tough. He's resilient with the grappling. His striking, we haven't really seen a ton of it outside of knocking out Weston Wilson. But even when they're striking, it's like this guy's gonna have a 7-inch reach advantage, and he's just probably gonna be more active. So I'm just not a big fan of Offley. Give me Yiza here. Am I gonna lay -200 on Yiza? Probably not, but I'll pick him to win.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Yiza side as well. The guy's 3.5 years younger, 1 inch taller, 7-inch reach advantage, 14 more professional fights. So the guy's been the much more active fighter because these guys have been pro around the same amount of time. So he's got the size, he's got the youth, he's got the experience. At the UFC level, I think that Offley's fought the tougher guys, having fought Myron Santos, Muhammad Naimah, and Ricardo Ramos. But if you look at Yiza's resume, he's been fighting in the road to UFC for a long time now. I mean, like this guy, let me just look at it real quick here. I know there's a ton of fights. Where he's already been fighting like the best of the Asian regional scene. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights. And he went 3 rounds with Gabriel Santos. Gabriel Santos is a really good fighter. And where the hell has Gabriel Santos been, by the way?
I don't know, man.
I miss him, Brady. I miss Moscatino. He's a really exciting fighter that I think has got a really bright future. And that's really his only loss. I kind of thought the Jun Young Lee fight was trash. Like Yiza definitely deserved to win that fight in my opinion. He controlled Jun Young Lee for most of that fight, and then even at some point, Yiza gets fouled while he's in top position, and they don't take a point. They don't let him recover, and then they stand the fight back up. They take the position from him. It was like they treated Yiza like he was the one who fouled Jun Young Lee. So I thought he kind of got screwed there. And if you look at that, it's a win over Sasu by armbar, win over Matsushima by split. Should have been a win over Jun Young Lee. Then he beats Jiahefu. He finishes him. He beats Sangwon Kim by decision. He beats Kaiwan Lee by sub in the first round. Loses a pretty dominant unanimous decision to Gabriel Santos. And then he just dusts poor Weston Wilson in 37 seconds, Brady. Knocked him down not once, but twice, and absorbed a grand total of 0 significant strikes. So Yiza can win minutes with his wrestling. He can win moments with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu. and he's got pretty good striking on the feet too. So I think he's probably just a little bit better everywhere than Con Offley. But Offley is a guy that can win minutes with his grappling, Brady. And Yijia doesn't have very good takedown defense. I think that he's got so much faith in his BJJ from his back that sometimes he will yield takedowns. And I think that there could potentially be a path for Con Offley to get takedowns, get into half card, and stay safe on top and kind of run some minutes off that clock while landing some ground and pounds. So Yijia's got to be careful not to let long stretches of this fight slip away, losing minutes in the clinch and potentially by getting taken down by Con Offley.
Yeah, looks like Yijia opened at -185. He's currently -205. Con Offley opened at +160, currently +175. The over-under is set at 2.5. The over is juiced to -200. The under is +174. Con to lean over. Don't really think I'm going to get involved in this fight.
I don't know if I have a preference on the over-under here. Let me see what my model is saying.
It's a featherweight fight, right?
It's a featherweight fight, so my model usually likes the overs, but in this case, the over 2.5 is priced at -200-ish. Is that where it's still at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it probably goes over. I don't know if there's a ton of value on that number, but I think it probably goes over.
Yep. Same here. We got the only Godfather in the building. What is up,
Yes.
Brady, Uncle Weezy? Good to see you in here. Okay, let's move on to the next fight, and it is going to be a rebooking. We got Jonathan Micallef going against Oban Elliot. We got Micallef, 26 years old, 6 foot with a 77-inch reach. We got Oban Elliot, 28 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. We got Micallef 2 years younger, same height, and Micallef with a 5-inch reach advantage. Micallef is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, got a submission win on the Contender Series against Muhammad Adu, and then he went out there in his debut and pulled off an upset against Kevin Jousset. As far as Oban Elliot, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He beat Britu on the Contender Series by decision, beat Val Woodburn by decision, beat Preston Parsons by decision, knocked out Basil Hafez, and then lost to Sunguk Ko by decision in his last fight out. So this is a really tricky one, like especially from like a market perspective, because like we've been saying, like the odds makers were just absolutely sucking the dick of Oban Elliot his entire UFC career, making him massive favorites in all of his fights. And they made him a massive favorite against Ko. Like Elliot was -600 against Ko in that fight. And what happened in that fight? Ko was the one that looked -600. Ko looked incredible. But, I don't want to hold that loss against him too much because I think Ko's really good. Ko did the exact same thing to Phil Rowe. And yes, Phil Rowe could be taken down, but if you go watch Phil Rowe's fights, yes, he gets taken down, but he eventually gets up and knocks you out. He was able to take down and control Phil Rowe and just shut him out over the course of 15 minutes. And, this Ko guy can be very good. He calls himself the Korean Tyson. So, he has that striking, but I think he should change that nickname to like the Korean Habib. I think he should be the Korean Habib, man. And this guy Ko looks like no joke. So I don't know. Is it a recency bias spot here where, Elliot's going from a massive favorite to an underdog, and Micallef is going from a big underdog to a favorite here? I don't know, but it's just a really tricky fight. It's a rebooking, which I don't really like betting on rebooked fights. Probably staying away from this one, but I don't know. It's kind of dog or pass for me. I think this one can end up being close. I'm not all that impressed with Micallef. He showed a very good body kick against Jousset, but I don't think he has the best wrestling. He's a good grappler, but I don't think he has the best wrestling. I think we can get like a close striking fight here. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, look, I mean, Oban is more experienced. He's got, and not just overall, but also at the UFC level. I think he's probably faced the better brand of competition as a professional, although it's not exactly been a murderer's row. The guy, especially his wins, when you look at Brito on Dana White's Contender Series, Val Woodburn, Preston Parsons, Basil Hafez, those are guys you should be beating if you're going to have a future in this division. And then Suk Kyo gets, he just drowns them. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't see that coming, but the ones that did see it coming made a ton of money on Ko because he was a huge underdog price there. And then these guys were supposed to fight. I don't know how long ago it was, probably 3-4 months ago, whenever the last Australian card was, right?
Yeah, it was a couple months ago.
Yeah, and like it was Oban who pulled out?
Yeah, he was sick.
Okay. Yeah, and now he's got to go all the way back to Australia to take this fight. So that sucks, you know. That's something we have to keep in mind for every one of these fights is there for a lot of them there will be a home fighter and an away fighter. And being an away fighter in Australia, not a good thing. Usually got to travel a long time to get there. So I think Elliot is probably got a lot more of the minute winning upside with the wrestling, Brady. And I think that he's going to be just fine on the feet against Micallef. So I think that Oban Elliott's got a little bit more paths to victory in this fight, but the long layoff for both guys, over 7 months for Elliot and 1 year now for Jonathan Micallef. It's 11 months, 23 days. By the time this fight takes place, that'll be the length of his layoff. So I lean towards that experience advantage that Oban Elliott has. And the fact that I think that he's probably the guy that's more likely to win minutes in the grappling exchanges of this fight. So I think I'm leaning to the Oban Elliott side here.
Yeah, I'm just not a big Oban Elliott guy. You know, I never agree with how much of a favorite they made this guy. But now that he's a dog, I guess probably should be betting him. But I kind of think he's mid at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I mean, because we still got a lot to learn about Micallef too.
Yeah, we do.
What did he win by triangle choke? You know, on Dana White's Contender Series, didn't he get him with a triangle?
I think he just took his back and choked him out. Let me check.
Is that what it was?
It was like
I've seen this guy finish with a triangle. I know that, but let me look.
Yeah, triangle choke.
It was a triangle. I mean, you don't see that usually at this level, you know, but I don't know, man. The rear naked choke was the fight before that against Matt Vale. So, yeah, I think, you know, he's still got a lot to prove here, but the guy's a good prospect, as is Oban Elliott. But look, Micallef's 26, Elliott's 28. These guys are still very young in their career. They got good size for the division. They got a fairly well-rounded skill set, both of them. So I think that it should be a pretty close to a pick 'em here, you know. Elliott's got a little bit more experience and strength of schedule advantages here. He's the better wrestler, but Micallef is a little bit younger and probably has shown just a little bit better form recently because he's not coming off a loss.
Yep. So yeah, let's see where this line opened. So it opened up a straight pick 'em, which yeah, I kind of agree with you. It probably should be a straight pick 'em. But Micallef's minus 133. And Elliot is currently plus 113. The over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 minus 220. The under 2.5 is plus 185. I think it goes to decision. If it doesn't, probably means Micallef finished. The finish only for Micallef is like minus 180. So, but yeah, kind of leaning like Oban decision. Probably a close fight as well. Yeah, we got to get Gabriel Santos back in there, man. We got the solution in the building. What is up? Oi, hey ho, yes. We got Brandon liking the over 2.5. I like it too. It's minus 220, but probably hits. Please don't remind me of Phil Rowe. Yeah, it was crazy.
I bet on him too, dude. He looked so bad. He made Cole look like Jordan Burroughs out there. I only saw Cole get these judo trips, right? And these takedowns from the clinch. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen him open mat wrestle. Who says he can open mat wrestle? He got all of his takedowns in the open mat, and he got them all easily.
Yeah. Luckily, I bet the Phil Rowe finish only. So
good.
Got refunded there. Hafiz almost beat JDM. Very, very close. Very, very close. Elliot is a great dog, I think. Yeah, potentially. It could be like a buy low spot, potentially. We got the House of Grind. The Dream Team has returned. No more losing 8 units in one event. Their winning returns. Agreed. Brady Weezy, this smells of ends in split decision. And Micallef is the hometown cooking. Yeah, good point. Good point. Close fight. Potentially can go to the hometown guy. We got Stacks in the building. What is up with you? Play safe like Umar. I don't want to hear anything about Umar Nurmagomedov. You know, terrible performance. All right, moving on to the next fight. We have Jacob Malcoun going against Torres Finny.
Ooh.
We got Jacob Really? You think it's a fight? Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's just a fun one to talk about. That's why I'm excited.
I don't know if it's going to be a fun fight to watch, but yeah, it'll be a fun fight to talk about. we got a grappler's delight here. We got Jacob Malcoun versus Torres Finny. We got Jacob Malcoun, 30 years old, 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. We got Torres Finny, 27 years old, 5'8" with a 75-inch reach. Finny, 3 years younger. We got Malcoun with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Malcoun is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Beat AJ Dobson by decision. Lost a very close decision versus Brendan Allen. Beat Nick Maximov by decision. Cody Brundage knocked his punk ass out in the first round. And then he knocked out Andre Petroski with his hip. And he knocked him out so hard. But he needed hip surgery after that. I don't know. I don't know. But it was brutal. Brutally knocked out Andre Petroski as well. As far as Torres Finny, he is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had a couple contender series fights against Yuri Panfarov, against Cam Ralston, against Rami, and they finally gave him a contract, and they made his debut against Robert Valentin. it was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. It was a horrible fight against the cage for like 15 minutes, and it was so bad that one of the judges actually fell asleep, Wheezy, and scored the fight for Robert Valentin, and he didn't. I don't know if Robert Valentin even landed a strike, and then one of the judges literally fell asleep, woke up, and gave it to Robert Valentin. Probably one of the worst scorecards I've ever seen. I don't know. This is a weird fight because, when I was taping this fight, I'm like, dang, I kind of like Malcoun here. He had a very close fight with Brendan Allen. He took down Brendan Allen 7 times. He was out grappling Brendan Allen for portions of that fight. That fight really impressed me for Jacob Malcoun. This guy's a phenomenal wrestler. His striking's not bad either. Doesn't have much of a chin, but his striking's not bad. But he can get fights down to the ground. His cardio is really good. I'm really impressed with Jacob Malcoun. But then I was watching Lucrative today, and I got word that Malcoun is coming back after a back injury, like a nasty back injury. And I was checking his Instagram, and he's talking about these 12 months were the hardest 12 months of my life. I'm like, holy crap, 12 months you were recovering from this. And he hasn't been in the cage for a year and 9 months. And as we always talk about, Weezy, these back injuries, they're no joke. We saw Amir Albazi have a back injury, come back against Moreno, and he looked washed. We saw Ramiz Brahimaj have a back injury, come back against Themba Garimbo and look washed. We saw Brian Barberena have a back injury. I forget who he fought, but he looked washed. He looked washed going forward as well. So I don't know, man. Stylistically, I kind of like the matchup for Malcoun. I think he's going to be the better minute winner in the striking. I think he can probably win the wrestling as well, maybe. But the back injury kind of scares me away. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, look, Jacob Malcoun's the better fighter here. He's fought the better brand of competition. I believe that he can match the wrestling of Finny. He's the better striker. Big time strength to schedule advantage. Let's face it. And I mean, and if people are worried about Finny out grappling Jacob Malcoun, then why didn't Petroski do it? Then why wasn't Cody Brundage able to do it? Why wasn't Nick Maximov able to do it? Nick Maximov is a high-level college wrestler and Brazilian jiu-jitsu player. Brendan Allen, one of the best grapplers in the entire division. I mean, Jacob Malcoun has fought a murderer's row of grapplers here. A mid-range, middleweight murderer's row of grapplers compared to the level of competition that Torres Finny is facing. I think Malcoun wins the minutes on the feet. The problem is that there's a 22-month layoff due to a serious back injury. So with that kind of a layoff, it's just really hard to back Malcoun even at any kind of a juice right here, because you just don't know what version of him you're going to get after this long of a layoff. And another reason to be worried about the Finny side, in my opinion, is the fact that this guy's traveling all the way to Australia. And look, if this guy is unable to win the grappling exchanges, he has zero chance to win a UFC fight. His striking is not there, Brady. It's just not there. And Jacob Malcoun's not going to get tired. I think Malcoun's the better fighter. The question is he ready to fight at the UFC level this Saturday in Sydney, Australia? And we're going to find that out. We don't really know the answer to that question until we see him in the cage after this long of a layoff. So it's a tricky fight to break down because there's that big piece of information that's kind of missing, and that's, are we going to see the version of Jacob Malcoun that showed up to the Petrosky, Brundage, Maximov, and Allen fights?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I wonder how. And by the way, this line is like shifted a ton. Malcoun opened at minus 250.
Yep.
And I think once word got out that Malcoun's coming back after like a nasty injury and layoff, money just poured in on the other side, and now Malcoun went from minus 250 to minus 145. Finny opened up plus 210, and he's currently plus 125. I wonder how low this line's going to get, but I don't know. It's just tough to bet a guy coming off of a back injury in almost a 2-year layoff. It's tough.
Yeah, and especially fighting on just a unit like Finny.
Refrigerator, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is like built like a fire hydrant in a refrigerator, had a baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that baby took a bunch of steroids. So, like, I don't know, man. Finny's a house. So it's going to be a really interesting fight here, But, the thing about Finny is he's landed 0.3 significant strikes per minute.
Oh, God.
He's 100% dominant or dependent on his wrestling.
Yeah. And if Brendan Allen's struggling in the grappling with Malcoun,
yeah,
what's going to happen with Finny? I don't know, but it's just a really weird fight. That's a good point. Finny's head is right at Malcoun's hip level.
Dude, I wonder if that's where the back injury stemmed from. Because if you knock a dude out with your hip, that could actually screw up your spine a little bit. I mean, like, who knows what happened there, man? That was a wild one because we haven't seen him since that fight.
I know. Yeah, he had the minus 3.5 for the Finny fight against Valentine, and Tony Weeks. Tony Weeks scored the fight for Valentine there.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, it could be corrupt sometimes. He's definitely. There's some weird decisions over the weekend too. That Rose fight I thought was a pretty rough decision. Malcoun kills this guy. I don't think Malcoun's killed anybody. Oh, he killed Petrosky. So, but I could see Malcoun like winning by decision. Speaking of that, what is the total? We have the total set at 2.5. The over is minus 190. The under is plus 165. I mean, I kind of think it goes over, but you never know with these two. I kind of think they're both chinny, to be honest. I don't know. It's just this fight's kind of sketching me out, man. Kind of sketching me out.
Yeah. And then you got the long trip to Australia for Finny as well. That's not going to be easy for him. I don't think he's ever fought outside the country before.
How are they going to bring a fridge onto the plane?
I don't even think you can do that, dude. They were weighing my bags before I got on. They were looking at my microphone, which I brought, but was not able to be used. And I mean, like, and you're not going to be looking at Torres Finny. Like, is it going to be safe for this young man to be on the plane with us?
I don't think it's going to be safe, man.
It's like, I think if Finny's on the plane, it can only be him on the left side of the plane. And then you have to have everybody else on the right side so the thing doesn't tip over.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I can't touch this fight with a 10-foot full. Yeah, this is like borderline 1-800 gambler. I really did like Malcoun, but after hearing that, I don't know. It could go wrong. Malcoun needs a good back to implement his fight plan. Yeah, I mean, wrestling requires a good back, that's for sure. Yeah. We got Daniel Forrest in the building. If the comment will show up. There you go. The stream has helped me as I'm sick today. I'm barely hanging on. Oh, you got this, Forrest. You'll push through it. Push through it. Get some rest. Big Boy Trading. How many likes for the Garbrandt face stat? Well, let's take a look here. So currently we are at we're at 82.
Oh, wow.
If we get 150 by the time we get out of here, I'll get a face stat. I think that's fair.
Go. Now we're cooking with gas.
I did something. I could have said 200. I'm doing something doable. 150 by the time we get out of here, and I will get a Cody Garbrandt face tattoo.
Yes.
Can you smell what Torres is cooking?
Yeah, I think I can smell it.
Smells like shit. Malcoun is too experienced with grappling. He can outsmart a muscle guy to a decision. Yeah, if this was Malcoun 100%, I'm with you. I just don't know if he's 100%. So good to be back. Agreed. Bring the light. Yeah, if you want to see me get a tattoo, get those likes up. Brady, would you make that off-center sword look tough AF? Yeah, I'm going to make sure it's off-center, too. I'm going to be like, make sure it's off-center. I want it just like this. I want it to look horrible. All right. We'll move on. And by the way, if we get to like 149, I'm turning off the show. If we get to like 149, I'm ending the stream early. No, because that'd be awful. I mean, that ruined my life, pretty much. Moving on to the next fight. We have Cameron Ralston going against Cody Brundage. We got Ralston, 31 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. We got Cody Brundage, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. You got the same age there. You got Ralston with a 3-inch height advantage, a 5-inch reach advantage. Ralston is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Andre Petroski and knocked him out in the first couple minutes. He also knocked out Brandon Holmes in his second Contender Series shot, and then in his first one, he lost to Torres Finny by decision. As far as Cody Brundage, he is 1-2, 1 draw, and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Had a submission loss to Bo Nickel, had a no contest against Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, had a knockout win against Julian Marquez, had a draw against Mansour Abdulmalik, and then had a decision loss to Eric McConaughey. And I'll be honest, I'm done with the Cody Brundage experience. It's not a fun experience. You just don't know what you're going to get in a Cody Brundage fight. On his best night, he can go out there and knock out Tresean Gore. He can go out there and submit Dolce Langambola. On his worst night, Weezy, he can go out there and land 3 strikes over the course of 15 minutes against Enriquez Dumas.
Yeah.
On his worst night, he can go out there and lose to Eric McConaughey. How do you lose to Eric McConaughey? You got to try to lose to that guy. How do you lose to Eric McConaughey, Cody? And then on top of that, you got the no contests. You got the draws. You got the DQs. It's like you never know what to get with the Cody Brundage. But what I do know is this guy Brundage is a phenomenal hammer, and he's like one of the worst nails currently in the UFC. And he's going against Ralston, who you go watch Ralston. You outside of the Petroski and Holmes fight, you watch all of his other fights. This guy is primarily like a grappler. Like he's finished over half his wins by submission. He's pretty dang slick on the mat. Has those long limbs. Finished a lot of guys on the ground, but now seems like he's finally starting to put that striking together, which as he should be. He's training at City Kickboxing. Now he's knocking fools out. So not only is Ralston dangerous on the mat, he's also dangerous on the feet. And now Cody Brundage is flying all the way to Australia. The UFC is doing him no favors with this one. I think they're trying to build up Cam Ralston a little bit. And I think they probably get their wish. But like I said, you never know with Cody Brundage. This guy could literally win by DQ. This could be a no contest. Maybe he can knock out Ralston, but I don't know. I'm done with the Cody Brundage experience. It's not fun. I don't like it anymore. I almost bet Brundage. I almost bet Brundage against McConaughey. I remember they opened up that line. Brundage was a dog, and I was at the park with my son, and I saw that. I'm like, oh my gosh! As soon as I get home, I'm betting on Cody Brundage as an underdog against Eric McConaughey. And then I get home, and thankfully the line flipped, and Cody Brundage was the favorite. And I was like, laying chalk and Cody Brundage, no. But I almost bet on Cody Brundage. If I bet on Cody Brundage against Eric McConaughey, and he lost that fight, I don't think I'd be here right now. So thank goodness I did not bet it. I'm going Ralston here. Money's pouring in on the Ralston money line. He's minus 350. I don't know, dude. It's a Brundage fight. Anything can happen. Anything.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just think kind of like with Brundage fights, unless he's fighting somebody that's really, really good, you just kind of take whoever's plus money because weird shit happens. He's out there dusting Jacob Malcoun in the first round, absolutely starching him, and then I mean, like there's the Al Hassan fight where like he gets destroyed. There's the Dumas fight and the McConaughey fight where he takes these fights on short notice, right? They're both short notice fights for him, and he doesn't show a lot of urgency, and not much happens, and then in the Dumas fight he gets dominated, And nobody in the division is worse off their back than Cody Brundage. He goes for that guillotine, and that's his only trick off his back. If he doesn't get the guillotine and you put this dude on his back, it's going to be over shortly thereafter. He can't get back up, and he can't absorb ground and pound down there. He'll just shell up. And he's got bad submission defense in a lot of those positions as well. So it's going to be an interesting fight, though, because like these guys are, let's face it, they're pretty well matched. I mean, Cody's got power on the feet. Cody's fought the much better brand of competition as a professional. He's got 13 UFC fights. And this guy's been out there against a lot of really good fighters, a lot of much better fighters than Cameron Ralston. But he's got to go all the way to Australia to fight this guy that right now is on a pretty long winning streak. You know, at least 5 wins in a row. But against who? You know, he got Petrosky, and that was, you know, Petrosky's chinny.
That's a good win, though.
It's a very good win, but I think Petrosky had to go to Australia. That one was in Australia, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, and I just don't like Americans going to Australia, man. That's an entire day of travel when you're already cutting weight. It's a bad combination of things. So I think that these guys are well matched on paper. I think at distance striking range, they're going to, you know, Cam is taller, he's longer, but Cody throws with power, and Cody mixes in the wrestling pretty good. Cody's a good offensive and defensive wrestler, as a matter of fact. So I don't think Cam's going to have an easy time getting him down. And I think Cody will be able to get Cam down whenever he feels like it, because Cam's not much of a wrestler. He's more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. So I could see Brundage winning minutes with the wrestling. I could see him landing damage on the feet. So at the current number, I mean, knowing that Brundage has went out there and cashed against guys that you just didn't really expect him to, I didn't expect him to starch Teresian Gore either, you know, and that happened. And let's face it, Rodolfo Vieira, that dude's really durable, and Cody had him in a couple of bad spots, dropped him badly once. So I think that, you know, I think Cody's got some paths here. He's the much more experienced fighter who's fought the much better brand of competition. He's got a legit wrestling background that he can lean on here, and he's got power on the feet. So I don't think that this line is correct here. I think a lot of people are just thinking that Brundage has got no chance. And kind of like Charles Johnson, you know, he'll cash for you when you don't think he has a chance, and he'll fucking shit the bed when you think that he really does have a winnable fight. So I think Brundage, you know, you play into the variance here and take the plus money.
Yeah, I'll never bet on Cody Brundage.
Fair enough. I'm not going to bitch you out for that.
I mean, if you can't beat Eric McConnell, you can't, in my opinion, you can't beat anybody.
Well, I thought he beat him. I thought he did win that fight. It was a close fight. And to be fair, both guys, McConnell and Brundage, for some reason, the UFC felt like making that fight on a Wednesday. Why? Have you ever been to a concert where there were too many bands and you show up on time and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got great news, 2 more bands, you know, and you're like, and then they bring out these whiny candy asses talking about while your girlfriend's dumped you. And it's like, well, I could see why they dumped you. Your band's shit. And now I just had to sit through an extra half hour of that waiting for the band that I actually came here to see. You know, so like, and that was one of those fights where it's like, hey, good news. We're adding Brundage McConnell to the fight card on a Wednesday. So maybe we forgive him. Maybe we forgive him for the Dumas fight because he took that fight on fight week.
I can't forgive him. I can't forgive 3 strikes in 15 minutes. I just can't.
I understand.
I can't. But what I don't mind is like the under, because look at Cody Brundage. 5 wins in the UFC. All in the first round. Great hammer, bad nail. If he ends up on bottom, oh God.
Yeah, that's when it gets bad.
If he ends up on bottom here against Ralston, he's gonna get served, and I think both guys can knock each other out. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'd rather play like an under, or like a fight won't start round 3 than laying minus 350 on Ralston. And yeah, if you like Cody Brundage, you can bet. I know some books do like the KO/TKO DQ. Got to make sure that there's that DQ at the end.
You do.
Got to make
Absolutely.
You got to make sure that, because he's gonna try for it. He's certainly gonna try for it. I remember cashing a 20-1 round 1 prop against Jacob Malcoun. 20-1 round 1.
Awesome.
for Cody Brundage. It was freaking awesome. But yeah. We got Eileen Perez's butthole in the building. I like the under 1.5 here. Lean Ralston inside the distance. Yeah, I don't mind the under as well. It's a Cody Brundage fight. Ralston inside the distance is holy crap. Minus 225. Yeah, I'd rather take the under because I think that covers a lot of Cody's equity as well. Minus 225 for the ITD. What are they doing, man? The Cody Brundage experience. It's not a fun time. Cody via DQ. Yeah, I mean, hey,
always worth a shot.
It's always on the table. It's absolutely always on the table. Let's see here. We got Woozer in the building. What is up, Woozer? We got Dixon's Cider still in here. Good to see you, Dixon. Taking notes. There you go. At this point, I would never bet on Brundage ever. Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard to. Like I said, I almost did bet on Brundage, and I would have lost my life if I bet on Brundage and he lost to Eric McConico. I wouldn't be here right now. So thank goodness I didn't. We call him Cody Bum. Oh, come on. He's a nice guy. Honestly, like Cody's one of the nicest guys out there, to be honest.
Agreed.
Very nice guy. How in God's name is Cody Brundage hired? Well, I'll tell you why. He's a company man. You know, they need somebody to come in on short notice. Well, call Cody Brundage. Will he perform well? No, not on short notice. He doesn't, but he'll step up. Your son saved your. He did. Luckily, we were at the park. We were playing on the playground, and instead of betting on Cody Brundage, we got Tony C with the $4.99. Appreciate you, Tony. He says, I loved Freeman laying down and quitting on Saturday, especially since it ruined my parlay as I had fight starts round 2. Probably should have started round 2. I mean, the round ended, and I went back and watched it, Wheezy. The round ended. Freeman was exhausted. He puts his hands on his knees like this, trying to catch his breath. And then Mark Smith like runs into him. And then when Mark Smith ran into him, he like stumbled, and Mark's just like, "That's it, that's it." So that's a bad beat. I mean, the round ends, and you don't get to cash your fight starts round 2. That sucks, dude.
Is that how Smitty tore his ACL?
Maybe, dude.
Is that how he did it?
Maybe. He like ran in. He barely touched what's his face, Freeman, and then he ran into him, and Freeman was like, "Oh," and then he called the fight off. He's like, "That's it."
That's my God,
this dude can't even stand. We got Brady and Weezy. I'm telling you right now, Cam Ralston is going to start ground and pounding the hell out of Brundage, and in a classic Cody fashion, he's going to present the back of his head and win by TKO again. It's on the table, man. It's on the table. That Brundage Malcoun knockout was vicious. I thought it was the first death in the octagon. I was terrified for Malcoun. Yeah, man.
Starched him.
Prayers for Jacob Malcoun. Brundage fights defy logic. They literally do.
They do.
Literally do. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, those were good times. I had $15 on Brundage KO1 versus Malcoun, and it somehow hit. Yeah, me and you both plus 2,000. That was phenomenal. What's up, Brady Unk? What is up, Majin MMA? What's up? Brundage by DQ. We're almost at 100. Holy crap! 2 more till we get 100. They really want me to get that face tat. We gotta start wrapping this show up. Move on from Brundage. It's a funny chat, but not serious from a betting perspective. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough betting on Cody Brundage fights. Weezy has been talking about that Malcoun Brundage fight enough, I believe. Somebody served. I would tend to agree.
Yep.
Ralston inside the distance, minus 200. Yeah, I'd rather take like the under at a much better price. Minus 225, I think I saw it. That's kind of crazy. Oh, he tore his ACL in the Taba fight, which kind of sucked. I like Mark Smith, man.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. He tore his ACL, man. I mean, like, that's what happens when you start getting a little bit older, man. You know, sometimes some of that stuff starts to just start tearing or worse.
Yeah. We got Janet in the building. Looking good, Janet. I like that Cody fella. He always tries his best. And yeah, absolutely. And that's all we can ask for is this, just to try your best. But I don't think he tried his best against Dumas or McConico. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be the people's main event, Weezy. We got Billy Alakana going against Junior Taffa. We got Billy Alakana, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 77-inch reach. Junior Taffa, 29 years old, 6'3", with a 72-inch reach. Taffa 1 year younger. Taffa with a 1-inch height advantage, but it's going to be Alakana with a 5-inch reach advantage. Junior Taffa is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He knocked out Parker Porter in his, I think, was that his debut?
I think so.
I think it might have been. And then he lost the fight against Marcus Rogerio de Lima by knockout. He lost to Walter Walker by submission. He beat Sean Sheriff by knockout. And then he lost to Tuco Toko. He lost to Tuco Toko. Yeah. He lost to, trying to be professional, but this guy lost to Tuco Tokos by submission. Yeah. As far as Billy Alakana, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut on very short notice against Bogdan Guskov. Lost that fight by submission. Beat Ibo Oslan by decision, and then beat Kevin Christian by submission. So, in my opinion, this is a fight IQ test for Billy Alakana. Yeah. You know, I'm sure this guy watched the tape. I'm sure he watched the footage. I'm sure his coaches watched the footage. Where does this guy train, Alakana? Somewhere good?
It says Uprising MMA. That's what I have on my sheet here. I don't know if there's anything new for him there.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But all I know is, like, go watch the tape on Junior Taffa. I mean, he made Tuco Tokos look like Khamzat Chimaev. I couldn't believe my eye. And I didn't have any money on that fight because it was a 1-800 gambler fight of the week. But it's like Tuco Tokos was, like, completely gassed out, but still just ragdolling Taffa all across the cage. Taffa had no resistance whatsoever in the grappling. And it almost looked like Tokos submitted him by accident. Like, both those guys were so bad, and then he just ends up in an arm triangle, and the fight's over shortly after. It was one of the worst displays of grappling I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And even in the Sean Sheriff fight, if there were 5 to 10 seconds left, maybe even 5 seconds left in the first round, Sean Sheriff wins by TKO. Sean Sheriff gets on top with like 15 seconds left and starts pounding away. The ref was about to stop the fight. 5 more seconds, it's over. I mean, this guy, Junior Taffa, is the ultimate white belt on the mat. And Billy Alakana has some grappling chops. You know, he submitted Kevin Christian, but he also went out there against Bogdan, and he was out grappling Bogdan for the first couple minutes of that fight. So if you're Billy Alakana, why mess around on the feet with Junior Taffa? Why strike with this guy? Take down this white belt and get him out of there. So I like Billy Alakana. He's minus 240 here. And if he grapples, he's going to look minus 240 or greater. If he strikes with Taffa, though, then it's a different story. So I'm hoping Alakana fights smart. If he fights smart, man, it's an easy night at the office here for Alakana. Taffa has, and I kid you not, I truly believe Taffa has the worst ground game in the entire UFC.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Yeah, and I was wrong. It was Porter was not the debut. His debut was against Mohammed Usman, who once again looked like Jordan Burroughs out there and racked up like 13 minutes of control time, but he almost got finished while the fight was on the feet a couple of different times. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was a horrible fight. That was terrible.
Yeah, dude. Like, he kept getting rocked, Usman, and then he would just be like, "Oh, I better go for a takedown." And he was getting those takedowns like Jimmy Crute got the takedowns on Anthony Smith after his legs stopped working. You know, where he just kind of like dove in on the legs, and then Taffa just fell down and then stayed down for the rest of the round. So, yeah, I mean, like if Billy Alakana wants to take this guy down, you know, Taffa's got the worst balance and the worst takedown defense that there is. So, I mean, like, he can do that whenever he wants. But if he doesn't do that, he's going to give Junior Taffa a chance to win this fight. Taffa will throw more volume. Taffa will probably have a lot more power. And Taffa's got a better striking background as a whole than Alakana does. But Alakana's a durable guy in his own right. I don't think he's going to be easy to knock out if this fight does stay standing. So I think an over might actually be kind of a cheeky look here, unless it's overpriced. I didn't see the line on that, but yeah, Alakana is a better all-around fighter for sure. But like you said, it's a straight up IQ test, because if he just goes out there and he chooses to stand and bang with this dude, he's going to leave the door wide open for Taffa to win minutes and moments potentially.
Yeah. So yeah, take him down. The fight's over. We'll see if he does it or not. But yeah, Billy Alakana, he opened at minus 175. It's been nothing but Alakana love. He's currently minus 240. Junior Taffa Open up plus 150, currently plus 205. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 125. The under 1.5 at plus 105. Alakana inside the distance minus 140. Was hoping to maybe get like a sneaky sub prop, but no, they're sharp, man. Alakana by submission plus 175. Oh, they're sharp. They're sharp, man. They know that Taffa can't grapple. So, but yeah, I think Alakana by submission is probably the most likely. I mean, if Tuco Tokos can look like Hamzat Chimaev, I think Alakana can as well. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Looking good is Diable for what fight? Looking good.
Not sure.
Billy Alakana, ITD, easiest bet of my life. Yeah, I mean it's minus 140. I don't hate it.
That should not be trusting Billy Alakana to get a finish at the UFC level should not be an easy bet for anybody.
Yeah, it's just he's going against Taffa is what people are thinking.
I know, but even then, like he couldn't submit Bogdan Guskov, and he was on his back.
Hey, Guskov the black belt, Taffa's a white belt.
Yeah. Yeah, so and Alex Pereira's a black belt too.
Oh, Parker Porter is a top 5 heavyweight. Come on.
Goat.
It's going to be a staring contest. Yeah, if it's on the feet, it could potentially be a staring contest. Is this the bad Taffa? They're both the bad Taffa. They're both definitely the bad Taffa. Under 1.5 is plus money. Still in a Taffa fight. Don't mind that. Yeah, Taffa has gone under. Let's see. Taffa went under in. Well, the Tokus fight went over. The Sheriff fight went under. The Walker fight went under. The DeLima fight went under. The Porter fight went under. And the Usman fight went over. So he's been under in, I think, 4 of his 6 fights.
That's correct.
My middle son's name is Billy, but he is also a junior after his daddy. I just hope both guys have fun. There we go. That's all we can ask for. I hope they do as well. Alakana has that physicality and stylistic match here, though. I want to bet Billy so bad. Oh, Billy. Oh, and that's what I might be saying. I might be saying on the next Stat Digger show. Oh, Billy, why didn't you grapple this guy?
Yeah, late minus 240, and to go watch him go out there and strike with a Taffa brother, that would just have you in an absolute fit.
It'd be hilarious. Taffa brothers on the no bet list. Yeah, we got D Spearman in the building. What is up, D? Having money on Alakana to finish gives me heartburn. -4 Alakana, -140 for Alakana finish. WTF? Yeah, like I said, the books are sharp. They're not giving it out free money here.
Yeah,
you want some winning bets. You got to pay for it. Like even like last week, Ty Miller by KO -130. You got to pay. You got to pay, and they're definitely onto this one. All right, Junior Toff is. How about you go up to Junior Toff and tell him that he's a chump to his face, Deep Insider. And if you don't have some type of grappling background, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, you better be able to grapple if you're going to call Taffa a chump.
Better be able to shoot a double leg if you want to call Junior Taffa. If you can shoot a good double leg, you can call him a chump. But if not, you better be prepared. I wouldn't want to mess with Junior Taffa.
No, thank you.
All right, moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Quillin Salkild going against Jamie Malarkey. We got Salkild, 26 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Jamie Malarkey, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. We got Salkild, 5 years younger, same height, 1-inch reach advantage. Salkild is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against poor Anshul Jabli, knocked him out in the first round, won a decision against Yanal Ashmos, and then knocked out Nasrat Hakprast. As far as Jamie Malarkey, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Muhammad Naimov, won a decision against Sean McDessie, got knocked out by Hakprast, got knocked out by Hufi, and then won a decision against Rolando Bedoya. And yeah, we got Salkild as the biggest favorite on the card, and I would tend to agree. I kind of think Jamie Malarkey's done. I thought he looked really bad in the Bedoya fight. Like in that third round, he was just kind of sprinting for his life against Rolando Bedoya, who has like no power. Got knocked out by Hufi, got knocked out by Hakprast, got dropped by McDessie, got knocked out by Naimov. He's been hurt in like these last several fights. Even Bedoya hurt him in that third round. He was kind of on shaky legs. So, And they're giving him one of the hottest. They're giving him the hottest prospect right now. You know, some people would argue, you know, Ateba Godier might be the hottest prospect, but after last week, and I'm not so sure about that. I think it might be Quillin Salkeld. And Jamie Malarkey's taking this fight on short notice. Kind of feels like Salkeld should get it done in spectacular fashion. Jamie Malarkey, he's only 31 years old, but in fight years, this guy's got to be 60. I mean, this guy's, you know, head's been bounced off the canvas more times than I can count. So, yeah, Salkeld gets a layup here. He was supposed to fight Rong Zhu, which is a much tougher matchup. Rong Zhu's been looking pretty hot, but now he gets Jamie Malarkey. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wild one. The one I'm looking at here is because, like, I think it's pretty obvious that Quillin's going to win this fight. I don't know where Jamie's going to be better than Quillin. Jamie's older, less durable. I think Quillin's the better wrestler. I think he's the more dangerous striker, you know, and I think there's speed advantage on the Salkeld side as well as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu advantage. So, and Salkeld's his fight IQ is phenomenal. He really knows how to blend his striking with his grappling and when to use what. The kid at only 26 years old, the sky is the limit for Salkeld. So, and Malarkey's taking the fight on short notice. This wasn't even supposed to be Malarkey's fight. Malarkey took this on short notice because not a lot of people are lining up to fly to Australia to fight Quillin Salkeld right now. This was supposed to be Rong Zhu. So that would have been a better fight, I think. Rong Zhu's somebody who's also young, also a prospect who's got some really good striking and some decent defensive grappling. So I think that Quillin's probably getting an easier fight with Malarkey, but at least Malarkey doesn't have to travel all the way to Australia. He already lives there. So I think that's one of the only things to like about Malarkey this week. But the one thing I was looking at is maybe I might take a shot in an over here just because of how blown out this under is. To make an under 1.5 rounds minus 145 in a men's lightweight fight means that you're pricing it at almost a 27% difference in implied probability from the long-term trend of the division. That long-term trend is 936 fights, Brady, and only 32.5% of those fights go under 1.5 rounds. So compare that 32.5% long-term trend for the division to the 59% price tag that you're paying at minus 145. And I do believe that this under is being way overpriced. I mean, Salkeld is coming off of just a highlight reel knockout over Haqparast, and he got a very quick knockout over Anshul Jubilee in his UFC debut, but that was a bad stoppage. And I mean, outside of the incredible head kick KO over Haqparast, I think that the recency bias is overpricing this a little bit. But the only thing that doesn't have me running to the window is that Malarkey has been knocked out, dude, in 6 of his 8, pro losses. And he was even making Rolando Bedoya looks like he has power. But I thought maybe Salkeld might go to the wrestling here. And if he does that, this fight might cruise over 7.5 minutes. I mean, even Ateba Godier went the full 15 minutes. So sometimes when I see these lines get way overpriced like this, I'm not exactly sold that Quillin Salkeld's like a murderous power puncher yet, Brady, but he is probably the best young prospect in the division right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was landing some really big shots against Ashmos, but Ashmos is pretty tough. I think he knocks out Malarkey. Not really a hot take. I mean, look at this. Quillin Salkeld ITD minus 375.
Whew.
Pricey. just a little bit. And money's actually still coming in on the under. You can now get the over at plus 130.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I get it, though. I get it. I don't know if I want to get in the way of that,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And then they took the props off the board, it looks like. So we'll see what they get him at. But yeah, I mean, I think Salkeld gets it done in brutal fashion. R.I.P. to Malarkey's chin. I think it's died a long time ago, to be honest. Poor Jamie Malarkey. Sanction M right here. Agreed. Eileen Perez's butthole. Played the under 1.5 for 2 units here. Salkeld should finish Jamie in round 1. Played it at minus 145 on Bet Online. Yeah, I think he has a good chance to finish Malarkey. Imagine if Malarkey won OMG. I just can't imagine that, to be honest. And me too. I thought he was like mid-30s. He's I
No,
guess only 31. But
his chin is well over 30, but yeah, he's only 31 years old.
when was Malarkey's last fight? It wasn't too long ago.
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months
ago against Bedoya.
Don't do it, brother Malarkey. Pull out while you can, bro. I'm not sure why he accepted this fight. I mean, that's not the smartest thing. What happens at 100 likes? I hope he sings. Nothing at 100 likes, but if we get 150, I will be getting a Cody Garbrandt face tattoo. I think it's the sword going down the eye.
The eye, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we need, I think, like 50 more likes. Jamie taking one-way trip to the land of wind and ghosts. I'm surprised, Malarkey's still conscious right now. Can someone check on Malarkey? Did he get knocked out going on a walk this morning? There's some breeze.
Yeah, I think he vacations in the land of wind and ghosts at least once a week.
We got Chase Sherman in the building. What is up, Chase Sherman? I don't know why they cut you, man. I don't know why they cut you. We miss you, Chase. Yeah, I hope so. I could see a club and sub in this one. How many times has Malarkey been subbed?
Never.
Yeah, I guess he could club and sub him, which would be very annoying for the KO bettors. Thanks for the free knowledge, fellas. Thank you, Xavier, for checking in, man. Who remembers when Volk piped up Malarkey? I remember when Volk piped up poor Malarkey. Is Nazareth awake yet? I don't think he's awake.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was brutal.
Very. We got Duke Mad Dog in the building. What is up, Duke Mad Dog?
Yeah.
Bro's got a timeshare at the land. It goes for sure. Yeah, he might, man. He just might. All right. Let us move on to the next fight. It is going to, oh, dang it, man. It was gonna be Crew Jacoby.
Yeah.
How good was that fight gonna be?
It was gonna be a fun one for sure, man. Crew always puts on a show.
We love breaking
and that would have been a great matchup for Dustin to provide another exciting fight. So yeah, that'd have been a good one, man.
It would have been such a fun fight. But we get another fun fight to talk about.
Yes.
It is Talison Terara going against the return of Tai Tuivasa. We got Terara, 26 years old, 6'7" with an 83-inch reach. Tai Tuivasa, 32 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. Terara is 6 years younger. Terara has a 5-inch height advantage and an 8-inch reach advantage. Terara is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He had a knockout win on the Contender Series against Arthur Lopez. He knocked out Justin Taffa in his debut. And then he got knocked out by Derek Lewis his last fight out. As far as Tai Tuivasa, 0-5 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Cyril Gahn. Got knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich. Got submitted by Alexander Volkov. Got submitted by Marcin Tybura. And they lost a decision to Jairzinho Rosenstruck. So Weezy, Tai Tuivasa is coming back after about a 1.5 year layoff. And although I think he's live, just because it's at the end of the day, it's a heavyweight fight. Terara has that tall man's defense. You go back and watch that Contender Series fight against Arthur Lopez, chin up in the air, eating flush shots. I don't think he's going to get away with it a lot in the UFC. But at the end of the day, I can't pick Tai Tuivasa. I'm just not sure how invested he really is. Does he even want to be a fighter at this point? He hasn't won a fight in like 4 years. So, but I'm also not laying minus 260 on Terara. I think somebody's getting served here. Both these guys are going to stand and bang. All Terara's fights have ended in the first round. Give me Terara as a pick, but I think a lot can go wrong, like laying minus 275 when they're just going to stand and bang and swing dicks until one man falls here.
Yeah, it's hard to know how the hell Tuivasa is going to come back after this long of a layoff. I think he took 1 year and 5 months off, and I believe it was to concentrate on drinking.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I mean, like that's what I'm hearing. But now he's back, But like you said, dude, what year was it when he won last? I mean, all I see are Rosenstruck L, Tybura L, Volkov L, Pavlovich L, Cyril Gahn L, and then before that, there's another L, right? I mean, was it 6? No, it's only 5 losses in a row. He did beat Derek Lewis. It was February 12th, 2022. Wow. Almost 4 years since his last win. But, that win capped off a 5-fight win streak for Tuivasa, where he beat Stefan Struve, Harry Hunsucker, Greg Hardy, Augusto Sakai, and Derek Lewis. So a couple of decent names in there. So where is Tai Tuivasa? Where is he in his career? Is he taking this seriously? Has he stopped drinking? Is he going to make weight? Is this dude going to make weight? I think might be the first question that we need to ask, because I think that he is an alcohol enthusiast. Talison Terara is a complete unknown for me, Brady. How long has this guy's career lasted?
5 minutes.
16 minutes.
Oh, wow.
This guy's got 16 minutes of pro MMA experience, and that's over 9 fights. So a 1.8 average fight time in minutes. 1.8 minutes. So what do we know about him? We know he's tall. We know that he got his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt awarded to him by his older brother. And we've never seen him grapple in any of his professional fights. So there's a lot of unanswered questions here on both sides. And you got Fat Tuivasa at what? +2? Where's he at?
Yeah, like +235.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably the good bet here is Fat Tuivasa, but you just don't know where he is, man.
Yeah.
Do you think he can stop drinking long enough, like to get into that cage sober? Could he do that?
No, I don't think he's gonna fight sober.
He still could beat him drunk, though.
Yeah, I think
how this Talison Terara is,
I think Terara's fought at least half his fights drunk already. So I'm pretty certain he was drunk in the Gone fight.
Yeah, he certainly was there. I mean, he took a pretty terrific beating, but he actually he landed one of the biggest shots I've seen anyone land on Gone.
Yeah, he has power.
He does. And he's got great low leg kicks too. Those neuro skinny ass legs of Talison Terara, a couple of those leg kicks could really change the fight. Yeah, I think Tuivasa's the side if you want to kind of like roll the dice on some unknowns here, but there's a lot of unknowns. So this is probably a better fight to stay away from. But really, I mean, I think it's probably a good bet to play Tai here because we don't know if this guy Talison Terara is any good at all.
Yep. Could end horribly. I mean, but yeah, Tai Tuivasa KO1 could be like a long shot prop this week. I mean,
Yeah.
if Arthur Lopez can touch you up, Tuivasa could potentially. So yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. The over-under is set at 1.5. The under 1.5 -250. The over 1.5 is +207. So yeah, they're definitely all over. The fight ends by KO. You guessed it, -600.
And fight doesn't go as what? -800 or -1,000?
-1,000.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Well, it's not surprising.
Yeah, Teixeira doesn't really seem to like to get paid by the hour. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
Tuivasa, yeah, I mean, could be worth a little shot on like a KO1. Outside of that, I don't. It's tough to put money on a guy that I just don't think cares, to be honest. Teixeira is so bad, Tai could actually pull this off. Teixeira is hittable. He leaves a lot of openings.
He does.
Is the fight ends round 1 playable? We don't have a line on it yet, but I'm assuming it's going to probably be like -150. It's not. They're probably going to be onto it, but we'll see. This better be a dick swinging contest. Yeah, I think they're both going to stand in the middle, pull out their dicks, and I think it's going to come down to who has the bigger dick. And it's probably Teixeira, to be honest. Did they arrest the judge that scored at 30-27 for Tai against Rosenstruck? I don't think they did, but that scorecard was awful. Even Tuivasa was like, what? Just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Teixeira isn't better than any of Tai's last 5 losses. That is 1,000% true.
Yeah.
Rosenstruck's a really good fighter. I don't know why he got cut. Tybura is pretty decent. Volkov's pretty good. Pavlovich, pretty good. Sirogan, pretty good. Yeah, agreed. Gonna risk it and probably bet fight to enter round 2. Yep, you'll get plus money on that, my friend.
Yeah.
Tuivasa has put in a big training camp with Gone. Did he? Tuivasa was training with Gone in France?
In France?
Why?
Man.
Tuivasa also spent a bunch of time with Pereira working on striking. What? No, I'm looking at his Instagram. He's like, there's no way.
Alex Pereira doesn't drink, does he?
I'm looking at he's like in a boat on his Instagram. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. But apparently he's been working with Alex Pereira and who? Gone? Why? Isn't Gone a movie star?
Yeah. Yeah, he did a Netflix film. He kicked about 150 people's asses in that movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
In what world does this go over 1.5? Well, if it's a fixed fight, just like Ateba Goody and his buddies cashed. I mean, the fight doesn't go to decision, and the Ateba fight was like minus 1,000. So we know Ateba's eating pretty good. Chase Sherman, I got Tai. Chase Sherman, liking Tai Tuivasa. Swinging dicks has turned into a sword fight. I think it'll be a sword fight.
Yeah.
Pereira is a former alcoholic. That is true.
I didn't know that.
Tai is a human heavy bag. Tai and Alex did a video a year ago on YouTube. Oh, so they did a video on YouTube. I didn't see it. All right. Gone was in Dubai for some days, and Tai was there. Oh, yeah, I did see Tuivasa was in Dubai. So I guess they did some training in Dubai together.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Nice to see that Tuivasa has been doing some training. That's important for a fight. All right, let's move on to the next fight. This is going to be a fun fight, man. Striker's Delight. Raphael Phys going against Mauricio Hufi. We got Phys 32 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. We got Hufi, 29 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. We got Hufi 3 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Phys is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knocked out RDA, lost a decision to Gaethje, lost it by knockout to Gamrot, lost by decision to Gaethje, and beat Ignacio Bahamondes by decision his last time out. As far as Hufi, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, got a knockout win on the Contender Series, knocked out poor Jamie Malarkey, beat Hamas Yontop over the course of 15 minutes, knocked out King Green, and then lost to Benois Saint-Denis by submission. And where's that cath? I need that catheter right about now. I got to take a piss. but if I had that catheter, I could just be breaking down fights. But I'm going to kick this to you easy. I got to go take a piss.
You got it, man. Striker's Delight here. And I guess it comes down to what you want to back. Do you want to back the resume of Fiziev? You know, the more technical striking probably, but, you know, just a much better resume of opponents. Look at these last 5 opponents. Ignacio Bahamondes, Justin Gaethje, Mateus Gamrot, Justin Gaethje again, Rafael dos Anjos. You know, these are guys that are top-level opponents, while Rufi was fighting Ryman Magomedov, which is a pretty good opponent. Got a win there. Jamie Malarkey, Jimmy Yontop, King Green, and then the loss to Benois Saint-Denis, who provides, you know, a grappling threat that he's not going to see from Fiziev. So, you know, with Fiziev, you've got that. He's the older guy, the more experienced guy, the more tested guy, and he's faced a much better brand of competition at this level and has shown that he's very difficult to win minutes and moments against at distance striking range. Now, Hufi, he's going to be 3 years younger than Fiziev. He's going to be 3 inches taller. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. Doesn't throw a lot of strikes, but he's probably going to be the more defensively sound striker. So it depends on what you want to back. Fiziev coming off a win over Bahamondes in Azerbaijan. Hufi coming off of a loss. So a little bit better momentum on the Fiziev side. But Hufi's got that swag, that youth, that length, that reach, that flash, that pizzazz, Brady. You know, that I kind of feel like if this fight's close, it's going to be Hufi that gets the nod. Just like you would have expected. If I were to ask you, Brady, not knowing what happened in UFC 324, hey, Nama Yunus, Natalia Silva's 50-50. Who do the judges give it to?
Natalia Silva.
Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong, 50-50 fight. Who do you think the judges give it to?
Sean O'Malley.
Fiziev Rufi. Well-matched striker versus striker matchup here. who do you think the judges give it to if it's 50-50? In Australia, neither one of these guys are from Australia.
Well, Hufi's been training in Australia, but Hufi.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the same way. I mean, I think he's the A side here. I don't think Fiziev's got a lot of upside. I mean, it's not like you're going to have a card in Azerbaijan every year. So I'm leaning to the Hufi side because of all the reasons that I already mentioned. But I think that these guys are well matched. It's just that I think Hufi's a little bit tougher to touch. These Muay Thai guys, they don't have great defense. But somebody like Hufi, I think, is a little bit more defensively sound. So for that reason, I think I'll lean to his side here. But like if Hufi keeps becoming a bigger and bigger favorite in a fight that I think is 50-50, where one guy does have a serious strength to schedule advantage here in Fiziev, I think Fiziev's probably the bet if he gets further and further into the plus money here. See.
Yep, I'm picking Fizi, but I'm picking Hufi, but this line flipped.
Yeah.
Hufi was plus money for a long time, and then now he's minus 128. So, yep, picking Hufi, probably not betting it. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 2.5 is, or over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is minus 170. The under 2.5 is plus 150. I don't know. Like, Fiziev's been knocked out. Look at that injury against Gamrot, and he got knocked out by what's-his-face a while back.
Mustafayev, right?
Was Mustafayev the guy with the bad haircut?
Yeah, the horrible haircut. He's a terrifying-looking dude.
Yeah, so maybe Hufi can, and I think Mustafayev got him with like a spinning back kick, right?
Yeah, spinning heel kick, very similar to what Ruffy knocked out King Green with.
Yeah, so maybe we could see like a Hufi KO potentially. So I don't know, but yeah, it sucks that the line flipped, and you're right. Money's continuing to pour in on Mauricio Hufi, minus 130 now. We'll see where it ends up. Yep, line flipped.
Yeah,
line flipped. Mauricio might get sparked. Never seen his chin tested in the UFC. And I think both guys' chins are going to get tested here. I think it's going to be a fun fight. Hufi is the lock.
Uh-oh.
Hard. Okay, we'll see. I love this fight. I don't trust Hufi. I think this is one of my favorite fights on the card. What happened to Gamrot by knockout? What? Yeah, he got hurt. Got hurt in that fight. Yep, injury, TKO.
Yeah.
Please God, let this be a dick swinging contest. I think it will be. I mean, maybe Fiziev will try to mix in the occasional takedown, but I think they're primarily going to swing and bang. We got Janet is here. When I was a youngin', I had a pink Huffy. Love that bike with all my heart. There you go. Good times. Hufi comeback opportunity from the UFC. Yeah, he's not going to have to really worry about somebody taking him down like he did in the Saint Denis fight. This is a very similar to the Silva versus Allen situation, the fighting nerd prodigy coming off a loss, getting a high-ranked guy off a win. Yeah, I could see it, man. That's true. Fiziev is more proven.
Yeah.
Hufi is way too patient. If Fiziev can back Hufi up with pressure and mix in some takedowns, he could outwork him. Value is gone now. Agreed. I wouldn't have mind Hufi at plus money potentially, but minus 130, I don't know. I could see my guy Raphael mixing the wrestling here. Yeah, he mixed in a few takedowns against Bahamondes. He mixed in a few takedowns against Gaethje.
Yep.
I think it'd be wise to try here. Hufi has no gas tank. If this goes past 1.5 rounds, he's got nothing. Line move is concerning. Is Hufi not a fighting nerd anymore? He's been doing this camp at City Kickboxing, which is pretty good. So he's not going to make that long flight. I don't know how long the flight is for Fiziev from where he lives.
Yeah, he trains in the States though, right? Doesn't he?
Or
no, he's a Tiger Muay Thai guy.
So how long is that flight?
It's probably not that much worse from Thailand to Australia than it is for New Zealand to Australia. Closer from New Zealand though, for sure.
10 days notice, Fiziev was very close to beating Gaethje. Hufi gassed with Yontop and BSD. Well, Yontop's a punching bag, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried punching heavy bag for 15 minutes straight? It's not easy.
Dude, I can't believe he ate some of those shots.
I know.
I mean, Hufi was beating him up, and that guy Yontop has got a brick for a head.
And Yontop did miss weight by like 15 pounds there. He literally missed weight by like 12 or 13 pounds.
That's true. He did.
That's crazy.
And he was up a weight I think he did. I think he used to fight a featherweight, if I'm not mistaken. So it was just funny. He's fat on top, missed it by a ton. That's right.
And yeah, he probably would have been asleep if he actually tried to make the weight. Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
Because some of those shots he ate, it's like how, very tough guy. On top. We got to get on top back in the UFC, or is he cut? Probably got cut.
Yeah.
If you miss weight by 12 pounds, you got to be cut.
He's cut. He's headlining FFC cards now. Fusion Fighting Championship, because those are the letters he has on his throat.
Oh gosh,
he's got the throat tattoo that says FFC, and he's back there now. So shout out Jimmy Yontop.
If we get 200 likes, I'll get a throat tattoo that says FFC. Why not? We like to have fun here at Stat Diggers. Yeah, Weezy, you have the stats up. Phys ever been knocked down? He's been knocked down a couple times, right?
He's been knocked down twice, according to my stats. I'm not exactly sure who got him, but
Gaethje and probably
Mustafayev was one of them for sure.
Yeah, probably Gaethje and Mustafayev. I know Gaethje knocked him down the last fight.
That's right, he did.
All right, co-main event time. We have Benoit Saint-Denis going against Dan Hooker. We got Benoit Saint-Denis, 30 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. Dan Hooker, 35 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. We got Dan Hooker, who is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Arnold Allen, knocked out Claudio Poyas, beat Jalen Turner by decision, beat Gamrot by decision, and then lost to Arman Tsarukyan by submission. As far as BSD, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Dustin Poirier, got knocked out by Renato Moicano, beat Kyle Prepolek by submission, beat Mauricio Hufi by submission, and beat Beneil Dariush by knockout. So phenomenal co-main event here. And it's nice to see Benoit Saint-Denis get back on track. Man, this guy had a lot of hype, a ton of hype going into the Poirier fight. And I feel like a lot of that hype definitely died down after the Poirier fight, after the Moicano fight. But he's won 3 fights in a row. And man, I was really impressed with Saint-Denis in that Hufi fight. The fight IQ was phenomenal there. He went out there. He didn't give Hufi a second to breathe. He didn't give Hufi a second to land anything. He went out there. There was a game plan. He executed that game plan. He took down Hufi at will and kind of broke him and submitted him. And I think it'd probably be wise to do that here against Dan Hooker. Take down Dan Hooker and just style on him on the mat. On the feet, Dan Hooker can hang with anybody in the division, but, the chin of Hooker has always kind of concerned me. Arnold Allen knocked him out. I think that was Arnold Allen's only knockout. We saw Michael Chandler knock him out, who, Chandler's not really winning fights. So I could see BSD potentially hurting Hooker on the feet here, but I think the clear path is the grappling. Get this fight down to the ground and style on him here. So yeah, BSD coming in here to Australia. Dan Hooker is the hometown guy, but I'm not sure if that's really going to matter. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Greatest fight on the card, I think, pretty much by a long shot. Just because of how the first Vulcganowski Lopez fight played out, which was just all right in my opinion. These guys are going to put on a show, an absolute show, and I can't wait. Saint-Denis obviously has the grappling advantage here. He's winning 79% of the control time positions in his fights. He's 11-0 to the submission, while we've seen Dan Hooker be submitted in 4 of his 13 professional losses. So Dan Hooker can be taken down a little bit. He can be submitted when you get him to the mat. But I think that Dan Hooker gets underrated a lot because of some of the problems that he had when he was making that ridiculous weight cut down to 145. I think that's where a lot of his worst performances were, when he was losing to guys like Jason Knight and some of these other guys at 145, where you're like, dude, he shouldn't be losing to these guys. But when he moved up to 155, I think we're seeing the better version of Hooker, because he's got good Muay Thai. He's got great size and length for the division. He's a durable guy. He's fought a really, really difficult strength to schedule, and he's fighting in his home country. Well, I mean, he's New Zealand. He's fighting right next to his home country in Australia. So I think that this is going to be a good spot for Hooker to make it look closer than what the line says it's going to. But Dan Hooker's fights take place at distance striking range 69% of the time, while for Benoit Saint-Denis, it's 42% of the time. So I think these guys are pretty well matched on the feet. I'm not saying that Hooker just needs to keep this standing and he wins. Far from it. But I also think that Benoit is going to have a difficult time getting him down and keeping him down, and that the distance striking exchanges are going to be close. and that Benoit Saint Denis is making a long flight to get from France to Australia here. So this isn't going to be an easy fight for Benoit Saint Denis, and they're pricing it like it's going to be very, very easy. So I think that Dan Hooker can make this, like even a guy like Gamrot had a hard time taking down.
Gamrot stinks, man. He can't grapple.
Oh, I mean, but he can grapple too.
He can't control you. He can't control you.
Yeah, he does let people back up, and it's because his Brazilian jiu-jitsu isn't threatening enough that people are all right just kind of giving up their back and standing back up. You can't really do that with Benoit Saint Denis, but I don't know if Benoit Saint Denis' wrestling is better than Gamrot's is. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Benoit Saint Denis, both of these guys, two of my favorite fighters in the division. They're very rarely in boring fights. So, but I mean, I just think that Hooker coming off that loss to Sarukian, people think that he's washed. He's pushing 36 years of age, but he's had some really good performances recently against tough opponents in Gamrot and Turner. He's been out there against grapplers like Puellis. I think that he's a tough fighter, and I think that he usually does a little bit better than what the betting line says he's going to do. And Benoit Saint Denis is not Arman Sarukian. So I think that this fight's going to play a little bit closer, and it's going to be an all-action fight, like all BSD fights, like all Dan Hooker fights. This is a great co-main event on a really fun pay-per-view card here. So I think that this is going to be an absolute pleasure to watch, and it'll be interesting to see if Hooker can keep this fight standing for long stretches and really make Benoit work on the feet, because I think that's where it's going to get really exciting.
Yeah, people have been calling Hooker washed literally since the Chandler fight back in 2021.
I know, and he's done pretty well, man. I mean, he's going out there and beating some tough opponents, so I don't want to count him out just yet, because Benoit Saint Denis is not exactly a great defensively sound fighter. He leaves a lot of openings in his own right. And Dan's somebody that can hurt you, man. 9 career knockdowns. He's finished 9 of his 14 UFC wins. You make mistakes in there against Dan Hooker, and he can make you pay.
Remember, people were piling in on Claudio Puelles against Dan Hooker.
Not us, Brady.
We were the only. We were like, is Dan Hooker a washed bum? That was back in 20. That was 4 years ago. People were calling this guy washed.
Yeah, I know. And Puellis was a leg lock guy, and we had even seen Hooker go out there against Ian Entwistle, another leg lock guy in the past, and absolutely destroy him. So that was an easy bet. That was a sizable bet for both of us on the Hooker money line.
Should have been a max bet.
Should have been.
Yeah, but yeah, money's pouring in on BSD. Was minus 300. Now he's minus 330. Dan Hooker plus 270. The over-under set at 1.5 rounds. The over is minus 175. The under 1.5 rounds is plus 153 there. Hooker's getting ragdolled. If it wasn't for the big staff, BSD would have beat Dustin. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Hooker has a puncher's chance. That's it. The way this fight reaches round 3, I think BSD's only been to round 3 Wheezy once, and it was the fight with that one ref.
Yeah, Vyacheslav Kisiev. Shout out from the Russian gulags.
Yeah, we'll have to see what fight won't start round 3 is, because the over is minus 175. So maybe you can get the fight won't start round 3. Maybe at plus money. I don't know. Saint Denis will hurt or KO Hooker on the feet. I feel like it's going to look similar to the Arman fight. That Arman card was the best betting night of my life. I forget which card. Wasn't that one of the last cards of the year? I forget.
Yeah, I think we had oh man, I don't remember. I don't remember when that one was.
It all blurs together.
Yeah.
Point is Monday is going to be the new day for the podcast, guys. Yes, unless we get a sponsor and they tell us otherwise. But we don't have a sponsor, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
BSD via Kimura in the first round. I got BSD by decision and Lopez by knockout. Don't really like BSD, but ever since training with Imavov, he looks different. I don't know. Still crazy, but playing craziness. BSD is minus 330. Underfield was saying he will get milked and piped like a real hooker. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness.
Yikes.
Oh, BSD has already been in Australia the last week. That's good. That's good news.
Good, yeah.
I don't like when fighters arrive on fight week. Double method of victory, BSD by sub or Hooker by KO. Yeah, that's not bad. BSD has been very active and has looked good in every fight. Yeah, he looked good in every fight outside of the Poirier fight, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the Poirier fight, he won the first round, didn't he? Like,
yeah,
convincingly won the first round, but he looked like he was trying to get him out of there in the first 7 minutes because he knew he wasn't going to have the cardio.
Mm-hmm. We got Duke the Mad Duck. It pisses me off when good wrestlers like Gamrot just let guys up instead of taking their backs. Their opponents expose their backs, and they just keep hugging instead of taking their back. Yeah, you and me both. Patty versus Gamrot, Dariush, Hooker, or Moicano. Patty versus Gamrot would be a fun fight. Gamrot is just one of those guys with no ground and pound or grappling to use on his takedowns. He can wrestle. He just doesn't do anything with it. Hooker going to land a knee up the middle. He could, man. BSD is very hittable. This fight will be ITD. I don't know, man. I think Hooker sucks. If Ryan Hall got off his couch at 50, he would sub him around 1. Wow. Hot take.
Oh, Ryan Hall's got really good leg locks.
He does. But so does Claudio Poyas. And
yeah.
Look what happened. All right. I think he would come back in the Moicano fight if it weren't stopped. Yeah, he could have. He looked good in that. He won the second round somehow after getting 10-6 in the first round.
Yeah.
Just wild. I mean, Benoit Saint Denis is tough as they come. All right. Let us move on to the main event. Before we do so, if you guys haven't already, smash the like button for us. Subscribe to the channel. We go live every Monday for some stat diggers. We are 38 likes away from me getting a Cody Garbrandt face tattoo. You guys have about 20 minutes to get it there. All right. Alexander Vulcganowski versus Diego Lopez 2. We got Alexander Vulcganowski, 37 years old, 5'6", with a 71-inch reach. Lopez, 31 years old, 5'11", with a 72-inch reach. We got Lopez 6 years younger. Lopez with a 5-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Vulcganowski is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Islam. Knockout win against Yair Rodriguez. Knockout loss to Islam. Knockout loss to Deporia. Decision win against Diego Lopez. As far as Lopez, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Sadiq Youssef. Decision win against Dan Ige. Decision win against Brian Ortega. Decision loss to Vulcganowski. And then a knockout win against Gene Silva. So easy in the first fight. Alexander Vulcganowski went out there, and it was just clear that he's the better minute winner by a mile. And quite frankly, there's not really a ton of better minute winners out there than Vulcganowski in the entire UFC in terms of his striking. And he went out there and he won the majority of the fight. You know, Lopez did have some moments. He knocked down Vulcganowski in round 2. He started kind of turning up the pressure a little bit, round 4, round 5, landing some solid shots. But ultimately, Lopez was only able to land like 40-ish strikes over the course of 25 minutes. If Lopez wants to win this fight, he's got to change it up. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to take more chances. I kind of thought Lopez, wasn't aggressive enough to win the fight. So, as we know, Weezy, all rematches do not play out the same, but I think if Vulcganowski's winning, probably wins the minutes and wins the decision. And if Lopez is winning this fight, he's probably touching the chin of Vulcganowski. One thing I find interesting is, we saw this fight happen, right? And, Vulcganowski was, I think, like minus 150-ish, right? Like minus 150, minus 160 in the first fight, or around there, right?
No, let me look. I always got betting lines on my stat.
I know for sure he was the favorite.
So Vulcganowski was minus 155.
Wow.
He was minus 155 in the first fight. Diego was the underdog because of, he was at an experience disadvantage there.
And now it's like the same, dude. I mean, Vulcganowski minus 145 it's closer. Vulcganowski minus 145, Lopez plus 125. What I also find interesting is I remember having a bet on the fight doesn't go to decision, and I was extremely drunk during the fight, so I didn't remember it. I was in Miami just drinking all day. We started drinking at 9:00 in the morning. We were up early. We went to this restaurant called Bacon Bitch. Have you ever been to Bacon Bitch?
I've not been there in Miami, no, and I've been to Miami a few times.
Dude, it is the best place ever. We walk up there and they're like, "How many in your party, bitch?" And we were like, "What?" They're like, how many in your party, bitch?" We were like, 4. And then they sat us down and they're like, "What do you want to drink, bitch? You a hungry bitch, or are you a thirsty bitch?" and then they started bringing out Jello shots and turning up and bringing dancers onto the tables at 9:00 in the morning.
Damn.
Bacon Bitch is the best place ever, man. You got to go if you ever check out Miami. But yeah, I was like, I'll take the chicken and waffles, bitch. I'll take a bucket of Corona, bitch. It's a fun time. So we were drinking all day, and to be honest, I don't remember the co-main event, which was Patty Chandler. I barely remember that, and I definitely didn't remember the main event. But I remember just ripping up my fight doesn't go to the decision ticket that I got at plus 110, and now the fight doesn't go to the decision is minus 130. It's more expensive. What do the bookies know that we don't? My goodness, they're so sharp. What are they expecting, Weezy?
I think they're expecting Lopez to fight like he should have fought the first time, which is to understand that you're not going to win minutes against this guy. Yeah. He's too technical. He's too defensively responsible. Diego Lopez got a 52% distance striking defense. Alexander Volkanovski's got a 61.6% distance striking defense. And that's with him fighting Islam Makhachev twice, Yair Rodriguez, Ilya Topuria. I mean, Max Holloway 3 different times. This guy's fought the best strikers in the division. And he's out there with a positive 2.3 distance striking differential. He lands 6.3 distance strikes per minute, and he only absorbs 3.9. So he's just, and then he can out wrestle you too. I mean, he's the far better wrestler when it comes to Lopez can't wrestle at all. So I think Volkanovski can win the minutes in the grappling and stay safe from the submission attempts. I think he can win the minutes by throwing more, landing more, and being more defensively responsible at distance. Volkanovski is going to benefit from a clean, technical fight, Brady. Diego Lopez needs to go out there like he's triple parked, and he's got a plane to catch. And he's got to throw spinning shit. He's got to throw caution to the wind. He's got to take all kinds of risks because he's 10 times more durable than Volkanovski is, and he hits 10 times harder, and he's 10 times more dangerous on the mat with his submissions. So he just needs chaos. That game plan that he fought with the first time around was fucking moronic.
It's pretty bad.
Who's his coach? What the fuck was that? You're going to go out there and win minutes against Volk? Really? This guy lost minutes. Dude, he, right before he lost the Brito fight, or no, right after that, he went and lost 4 out of 5 rounds to Nate Richardson.
Oh.
Yeah, on the regional scene. This guy can't win minutes at all. So Diego's got to, I mean, like, remember when I was ripping on Crute, when I was saying that, like, if Jimmy Crute's fight IQ was a hairstyle, it would be a mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's got like a ridiculous mullet? Diego Lopez got a ridiculous mullet. And that dumbass haircut, it reflects a dumbass fight IQ where he really doesn't have a process for winning minutes and banking rounds. And at this level, to be finish dependent, it's not a good thing in 5-round fights. I mean, like you can lose, but you need to find that moment. And he had a couple chances, didn't he? He had rocked Volkanovski a couple times. It's just that Volk got past those moments, and Diego's going to have to create more of those moments in this fight if he's going to win this fight. But I think that people know that the potential for him to do that is there. Volkanovski keeps getting older. He's 37 now. Diego is only 31. So there's a lot of advantages that Diego has. Height, reach, youth, power, submissions, grappling, and durability. He's got all of those advantages here. He's just got to fight with a style that's going to highlight those advantages and minimize his weaknesses, and his weaknesses is winning minutes. So, Volkanovski wants to keep this clean. Mm-hmm. Diego's got to make this filthy.
I like it filthy.
I do too sometimes, my man. I do too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. If it's a pretty fight, I mean, Volkanovski's going to style on him. He needs to make it dirty. He needs to take some chances, and I think people are expecting that because, like I said, we're getting a better price on Volk this time around after he pretty much easily won the first fight. So very interesting stuff with this line. Very interesting stuff with this total as well, I thought. Volk by decision, don't overthink it. And yeah, if Lopez wants to go out there, Wheezy, and test his minute-winning ability, it will be Volk by decision. Let's see if he tries to win minutes against Volk. Volk's literally probably one of the best minute winners in UFC history, dude.
He's so good at it. Yeah.
You can't win minutes against this guy. Diego Lopez wins. How can he not? Unless it's like a super wrestling heavy performance. Lopez hits too hard. He hits very hard. Lopez will KO the F out of Volk. He lost the first one, dummy. Yes, he did. Volk will win, I think. Bunch of casuals in this chat. Come on, Gay P. What does that say, gay?
Gavi.
Sorry, Gavi. Come on, Gavi P. Please bet on Diego so I can get a better. It looks like he will get a better number on Volk by the looks of it. Volk won 95% of that fight. Lopez landed a good punch that knocked him down in a flurry in the fourth. I'd say he won like 90%. You know, we got, Lopez had a good moment in the second. And then, like you said, in the fourth round, had a good flurry. And then Lopez started pouring the pressure on a little bit in the fifth round, but that was a little too late. What is the double chance? Diego by KO or Volk by decision? I don't know off the top of my head, but they do have that. And that would definitely make some sense. Volk clearly showed that he's the better fighter. Lopez inside the distance, no action, -45. Yep, that was one of my first bets of the week, the Lopez finish only. I like it.
Yeah, but it's not there anymore, my man.
It is.
I got Diego Lopez -250 on the finish only prop on Bet Online.
Yeah, that's Bet Online. On Bet Rivers, it's -130.
Well, you can get Volk at +195 for the finish only on Bet Online. So that's a crossed market. You can arb that and get some free money if there's a finish.
Yeah, Bet Online's by far and away the sharpest book out there. So then, -250, I would tend to agree with that, honestly.
Yeah.
I like the fellow with the long hair in this one. Reminds me of my ex-husband Daryl. Man was scum, but he had a good head of hair. You gotta love Janet, man. You gotta love Janet. Oh, Lopez round 2 annihilation. Volk either gets sparked early or he makes the fight boring and wins a 49-46. I hope this fight's more exciting than the first one. I truly do. I'd rather get full-blown AIDS than deal with bacon bitch at 9 a.m. Imagine we were hungover, by the way. We wanted some breakfast. We weren't expecting like dancers on the tables, Jell-O shots. We weren't expecting that. And then my friends ordered like a bucket of Coronas. I'm like, what are you doing? It's 9 o'clock in the morning. They're like, we're in Miami. And I was like, good point. It's a very good point. Lopez wasn't even outstriking Gene Silva. Come on, bro. Volk wins by 49-46. Volk's chin is very questionable at this point of his career.
Yeah, it is.
Diego beat Sadiq, bringing dead Gene. What? Come on, that's a phenomenal win.
It's a very good win. Yeah,
Brian Ortega and people think he's beating Volk. Come on, Gene Silva's a phenomenal win. Where's Yair? I don't know. I don't know where Yair's at. Lopez gonna win and probably set up a third in Mexico May 5th. Diego needs it in the clinch. Make it dirty. Make it grimy. I think Lopez was in all of one of the legends. He won't have the same respect. Yeah, he had a lot of respect for Vulcganowski. That was a straight mo. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Gene Silva, the guy. Put some respect on Gene Silva, man.
Yeah, they got Brian Ortega ranked ahead of Gene Silva right now.
Are you serious? That's
yeah, and I mean a guy who will never make 145 again in his entire life, too.
Yeah.
In Ortega, I mean.
Gene Silva is a future champion. Volk is old. He's going to the shadow realm. Jimmy Crute is concerning levels of stupid. I can't argue that there. This reminds me of the Ankalaev Pereira rematch. I think Diego is finishing Volk this time. Yeah, people don't understand it, Weezy. Like, all rematches, they don't play out the same usually. They just don't. But, I mean, if Volk wins a decision, we could definitely see that. Beautiful breakdown, might I say. There you go. Where is your Diego Lopez wig, Brady? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see here. I gotta go to I have a whole wig drawer.
You got your Na Liang wig.
Got
your Diego Lopez wig.
Sean O'Malley hair. Look at this.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Nice.
Dude, look at this. I'm Diego. With a haircut like this, I feel like I should be singing the "Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. And don't make me change my mind, for I won't live to see another day. I swear it's true. Because a girl like you's impossible to find. You're impossible to find."
Yeah,
Yeah.
You put on that wig and it just comes naturally.
It really does, man. It really does. Light work for Volk. We'll see, man. Lopez didn't show any improvements versus Silva on the waiting around and low volume and not pressuring his advantages, which were all the problems he had in the Volk fight. People calling people casual. Don't call people casuals, man. Come on. We're all just having fun here. We got Mike in the building. What is up, Mike?
What up, Mike?
Good to see you in here. Give me a better odds, but you'll probably get better odds. Volk decision KO and Hufi decision KO. Lock it in. I'd rock your world, Grinder, but I'm a good Christian woman. Okay. Don't sing. I didn't.
It was Diego.
I also come naturally. Me and you both, man. No, you definitely went through that phase, Bray. I didn't, man. I didn't. That is a star if I've ever seen one. Appreciate that. I am close to sponsoring the show if I keep hearing that beautiful voice. Yeah, maybe I need to sing more. Some people like it. Some people do like it. All right. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna put my hat back on. But yeah, I have like a whole wig section. I have like 5 wigs. 5 wigs, man. All right. So what we got to do now is we got to come up with a stat diggers parlay where last week we lost. We can't afford to lose a leg. I want all these fights to stay on. We got to come up with the milking. We got to get back on track with the milking, and we got to get a piping. You know, we don't only want to get the pick right. That doesn't matter. When we're talking about a piping, we need their opponent to die in there. And Gene Silva couldn't quite do that. So let's start with the parlay. Weezy, you'll give a leg. I'll give a leg. It could be a money line. It could be a total. Whatever you prefer. What are you thinking?
I kind of like, let's see here. I'm thinking like a Teixeira Tuivasa under 1.5 at -250.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking about a guy in Teixeira who's got an average fight time at the UFC level of 0.6 minutes. And Tuivasa might be like, I'm going to try for 2.5 minutes before I pull a Derek Lewis and just go into all fours and quit.
Yeah, I love it. Any money lines sticking out? Oh, I would say Alakana, but
that was exactly what I looked at. I'm like, he can't lose to Junior Taffa, right?
But I mean, I know he should destroy Taffa. He should destroy him. Any other money lines? Not really. In terms of the money lines, I mean, I guess we can keep Alakana as a potential option. Any other totals?
I mean, Benois Saint Denis, if you feel like he's going to grapple, I think that's a pretty good look. I even kind of like Yijat -205. I just think he's a little bit better everywhere than Khan Offley, but I could see Khan getting takedowns, avoiding submissions, maybe staying on top for a long time. I don't know, man. It's a tricky one.
I'll take the BSD fight doesn't go at -250. And then we'll parlay the fight doesn't go in the BSD fight with you said the under in the
under 1.5 in the Tuivasa Teixeira fight.
Okay, so it's not quite plus money. It's -104 for the both of them. But yeah, I mean, it's a BSD fight. All of his fights are finished, and it's a Teixeira fight. All of his fights are finished in the first round. So I like that.
And now with these increased bonuses,
yeah,
I think that we're going to see some, maybe a statistically significant amount of finishes more, which might only be 1 or 2%.
Yeah,
in the whole scheme of things, but that is significant if we see it more, and that could be a result of, hey, if you're going to go out, and then we're not only are you going to get more money to finish, but you're hearing behind the scenes that they might be discouraging wrestling heavy game plans when you're talking to the management of the organization. So yeah, we could potentially see more finishes.
Yep. All right, now let's go to the piping of the week. So let's talk about the potential candidates. Oh God, I think somebody's. I guess Cam Ralston can pipe Cody Brundage. Quillin Sal-Killed could potentially pipe Jamie Malarkey. Somebody's getting piped in the Tai Tuivasa fight. Not confident who. I don't know, man. There's not a ton of great piping. But let's just go Sal-Killed. We got to get back on track.
Yeah.
We're taking the free square. Why not? I don't care. It's our show. We do what we want.
He's been knocked out 6 times in his career.
Yeah, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. The onsite piping of the week is Quillin Sal-Killed to pipe poor Jamie Malarkey on site. Okay, here we go. The on-site piping of the week is Quillin Sal-Killed to pipe poor Jamie Malarkey on site. Ouch. All right. Now it is time for the milking. So we got to get back on track with the piping. We definitely got to get back on track with the milking. So for the milking, oh my God, I guess Yiza could potentially milk Con Offley, potentially.
Benois Saint Denis.
Yeah, Saint Denis. I think somebody probably gets milked in the Malcoun Finny fight, but I'm not extremely confident in Malcoun anymore after hearing the back injury stuff. You know what? I think it's between either Saint Denis or Alakana. Like if you're Alakana, take down this white belt bomb and tap him out. So for me, it's BSD or Alakana. I'm fine with either or.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, it's an IQ test for Billy Alakana, and I think that he can easily take this dude down. I mean, there's just no reason to box with this guy. He's shown you his ass every time he's went to the mat. So I think that Billy Alakana should milk Junior Taffa if he has half a brain in his head.
Yeah. Junior Taffa this Saturday. Alrighty. The milking of the week is Billy Alakana to milk Junior Taffa this Saturday. BSD will milk hookers and nipples dry. BSD is the easy pick. Talking about the milking. Yeah, I could see BSD definitely milking hooker. I could see Alakana milking Taffa. Absolutely. Quillin is like minus 1,000. Yeah, like I said, it's our show. We can kind of do what we want. Nobody really can stop us from taking Sal-Killed to pipe him. I think Quillin piping could be milking. It could be. It could be. He could pipe him. He could milk him. He could slap his ass for all we know. He could be the second ass slapping in the UFC. Guys, I'm a bit high, and I just need to research that finish only and win inside the distance. Minus goes the distance. No action is the same bet, right? Gonna do the ARB for Volca. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, both of those are finish only.
Yep.
So much milk.
Yes.
So much milk. Taffa's full of milk. Not much anymore, man. He cut down a weight class. Doesn't have as much milk as usual. Hufi's been training in Australia with Volk, yes, and which is very good. Finny is the underdog lock of the week. We'll see. He's going against the guy with a bad back. We'll see, man. We got the Hood Wolf saying, I'll sponsor the show with my next fight purse if Brady puts on a wig and rates my feet. No. I'm doing that. Come on, SD. Come on. Stop it. All right, Weezy. We did it. We got done quicker than usual this time. Typically, we go 3 hours. We finished 20 minutes early. Weezy, any final thoughts on the card, and also where can the people find you?
They can. Final thoughts on the card is that these are some interesting fights. I think the road to UFC fights are going to be really fun. It's tough to find great prelim fights whenever you go to a place and you kind of have to have all the local fighters on the card. But I think this main card is going to be really good, and some of these fights like Tuivasa, Teixeira, Fiziev, Ruffy, Hooker, St. Denis in the main event are going to be bangers. So I'm looking forward to this card. You can find me on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy. You can find me on oddshopper.com where you find access to my betting models, my advanced stats, my individual fighter stats, get access to my full card breakdown every week, my prop betting show every week, fight write-ups, Discord, all my track bets, $25 a month. It's a treasure trove of information for a UFC bettor. Check me out on oddshopper.com. Check me out on YouTube. Check me out on X at MMA Wheezy. And I'm going to start trying to do some videos on Rumble and other places as well to kind of spread the reach out. So looking to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 325, Brady. It's going to be a good week.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it for sure. And so I guess the biggest thing for me is this fight companion I'm doing this year. I think Uncle Weezy is going to join us Saturday. And I also, an hour before the show, I do a last look. So I'm literally on camera for like 9 hours.
But you got the views. You got the views on it, man. So it was worth it. And I'm looking forward to joining you this week. We're going to have some fun.
A lot of those views were sex spots. I had a lot of sex spots. I got to up my moderators for this week. But a lot of sex spots. A lot of people saying I suck. But a lot of really mean people out there. But overall, I enjoyed the experience, and I'm planning on doing it again. I'll have to hit up a catheter company so I can sit through these fights for 9 hours.
Yeah, and if any of these sex bots want to pay us too, I mean, like we can sell that too. We can sell that too.
We'll find a sponsor, and it'll be glorious. It'll be glorious. But all right, guys, be on the lookout for more content throughout the week. Best of luck for UFC 325. Time to bounce back and kill it this week. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.